Welcome to this week's Schreiber Council meeting. Acting CAO, Rosalie Evans' report focused on the issue of user fees charged for various services and proposed that Council update the current fee structure. The Treasurer report provided an insight into the current financial status while mentioning that unpaid taxes are charged late fees, and reminded residents to submit payment before the year end. The Director of Operations status update report showed that equipment is being prepared to tackle this year's winter season. The new handy transit vehicle will also go into operation. Thank you for watching.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our November 14th meeting. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is a traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Métis. Can I get approval of the agenda? I have 3 items to add. Actually, Director of Operations report, propane heater will be number 20 under department reports. Fire chief report, a transport of Pays Plat pumper will be number 21, and number 22 will be fire chief report on collision damage to the 2006 pumper truck. Anybody else got anything to add? Have approval of agenda. Everybody's good with it then? Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none, there is no delegations. Nobody in the audience for question period. Rosalie, you haven't been emailing.
I had a phone call from a prosecutor from the Ministry of Natural Resources about a young person, and he's trying to arrange community service for that person, and he wanted to know if we had any community service this person could do. The person is still in school, so I talked to him a little bit about the challenges because they would need to be supervised, so you can't just send them somewhere. And so the only thing I can think of was maybe something at hockey games or something, but I said, like, it's a challenge. But if he didn't even know if the family wanted to do community service, he was just looking for options to give them should they. So I told him, look, I'm not saying no, but it would be challenging for us. So if he calls me back, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thanks. So we'll move right in. Minutes of previous minutes. Resolution 356-23. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held October 24th, 2023 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 357-23. Moved by Councillor Bergeau, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the minutes of the special council meeting held November 7th, 2023 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Committee, business arising from the minutes, Committee of the Whole recommendations. Resolution 358-23. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that council authorize the purchase of 2 6-foot benches from Barco Products Canada in the amount of $1,328.85 each, excluding shipping and applicable taxes. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 359-23. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Burgeau, that Council of the Township of Schreiber support Resolution 23-178 of the Township of Archipelago with respect to cigarette producer responsibilities. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Move on to accounts for payment. That was 359.
Yes. 360.
Resolution 360-23. Moved by Councillor Burgeau, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that bank debits paid out of the general bank account in the month of September 2023 in the amount of $40,001 or $40,001.72 be approved and ratified. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 361-23. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Burgeau, that checks issued on the general bank account in the month of October 2023 in the amount of $426,409.62 for general accounts payable be approved and ratified. Discussion?
I have a couple of questions, if that's
Okay.
okay. Marlene, I kind of think I should know what this is for, but check number 27401.
Hold on, 27401.
Okay. What was that for? I kind of think like you're going to tell me, I'm going to go, son of a gun, I knew that.
Who is it made out to?
AED Advantage Sales Limited.
I believe it is for the purchase of AED equipment, but
Is that for those
Defibrillators.
defibrillators? That's what I'm looking for, thank you.
checks, yeah,
Yeah?
557180.
Because the pads had expired, it had to be replaced.
Right. Check number 27422.
27422. Who is the vendor?
Hungry Moose.
That may be multiple invoices, would be my guess.
Okay.
I've got 6 invoices on that check.
Okay, so there was like different events that we had, were ordering food and stuff for?
Yeah, it's mostly for the barbecue, the senior center barbecue stuff and propane.
Okay, barbecue and propane. And then one more, and I'm kind of guessing I know. Check number 27391 to to Phil's Waste Services. I'm guessing that's for the Heritage Days, would be my bet. Sorry, 27391.
You said Phil's Waste Services or
Yeah.
Phil's Septic?
It says Phil's Waste Services, Inc. I'm wondering that's what it was for Heritage Day. I wasn't sure.
7391. That is for pumping the outhouses at Schreiber Beach and at White Sand.
Oh, huh. Okay. And that was all the questions about checks that I had, that I just wasn't sure.
I have one. On move mobility, is that handy transit? That's,
Very likely, but that's.
Yeah.
That's where we got it from there.
yeah, okay.
You okay with that then, Darren?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Wendy.
All those in favor then? Carried. Resolution 362-23, moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councilor Morrow. That bank debits issued on the general bank account in the month of October 2023 in the amount of $52,633.45 for payroll be approved and ratified. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. No unfinished business, other business. Resolution 363. -23. Moved by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Burgeau. That bylaw 48-2023 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Township of Schreiber and Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation be enacted. Discussion?
When do we typically receive approval to announce these? Just a question.
Yeah, either myself or Rosalie is going to reach out to the office tomorrow.
And find out when we can announce this.
Yeah, we'll reach out to Kevin tomorrow.
So then the only other question is, because I've seen it on some of Tammy's reports, is are we on schedule with the timelines that are reported on the actual project description? Because it talks about like installing the on-demand water tanks, when we're gonna do that, when we're gonna, like, it's got dates on them. I think we're a little bit ahead of the game is my guess.
I'll let Tammy speak to that in the report. We got a
Okay.
report on that after.
Okay.
I mean, I could answer it right now because I was up talking to Ed today, but I'll wait.
Okay,
She did reach out for dates for her report.
Right.
We were generous with the dates to make sure that
Yeah.
we could meet them.
so, but I kind of thinking we're a little bit ahead, right?
We are.
That's awesome. No, that's perfect.
So all those in favor? Carried.
Should have been in closed session too. I'm not supposed to announce it. This is-
Last time it was tomorrow. Resolution 364-23. Moved by Councilor Burgeau, seconded by Councilor McGrath, that bylaw 49-2023 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Township of Schreiber and Skate Canada, Terrace Bay Schreiber Figure Skating Club, be enacted. Discussion?
And this is for operation of the concession again?
Operation of the concession booth. I'm
Okay.
talking with Jamie. They're very happy. We're very happy to have them back, and everything's been, as far as I know, I haven't talked to Jamie in a week, but everything's been smooth sailing.
Good.
So, all those in favor? Carried.
That's really a win-win.
Yeah, this is a win-win. Right.
Okay, so we'll move on to our committee of the whole portion of the meeting. And with department reports, first up is CAO/Kirk acting user fee bylaw report.
So this was a project that Nathan had been working on for a while. As the report says, the previous bylaw, the last year that had approved fees was 2021. So since 2021, staff have been charging the same fee. So we had a meeting about it with our admin meeting, and then I took a stab at drafting based on material that I found in his office and that Evan provided me. And then we had another meeting about it, and some more discussion ensued. So basically, there are a few new things happening. I should have brought my filing, because I did make some mistakes. When the bylaw comes back for enacting, it'll be fixed up a bit. For one thing, I forgot to put in the actual, I talk about it in the report, but I forgot to put it in the bylaw, the administrative charge for
Okay.
Invoicing.
Okay.
And also, there was information from Marlene after talking to the bank about whether or not we could accept a Visa payment and then charge a fee to cover what we would be charged for that.
Right.
So that needs to be put in a bylaw too. It's not in there right now. So the history, as I said, is there. I've given you a little bit of legal background. I put in attachment 1, the existing 2021 fees.
Mm-hmm.
That bylaw was passed over a 5-year term. Looks like it was reviewed in the middle of that term. I didn't want to put a multi-year bylaw forward pending the arrival of a permanent CAO clerk in case that person wanted to make changes.
Right.
So I thought if we just get it in place for 2024 and get it done, everybody knows. My idea was to have an absolutely all-inclusive bylaw so that a person who wants to find out about what fees we charge, somebody moving to town or whatever, just has to look in one place. But we weren't able to put it all in, so I've listed what's not included. What we are going to do instead is have a cross-reference. So just as an example, water and the water fees are not in here. They're in
No.
a separate bylaw. So this bylaw will say, these are not included, please see bylaw number, whatever the bylaw number is.
And then it'll be like a link, right? They can just click on it and it'll go click.
I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure someone.
But only because I've read through a bunch of bylaws. It's hard. They're hard to find.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're looking for. Okay.
That's a good idea. I will write that down. Link to cross-references. Okay. And so what I've done is a general bylaw that then has schedules attached so that when somebody wants to review the, say, the planning fees, there's just one schedule to be replaced when the bylaw is amended. So the new administrative fees, I mentioned the 15% fee on the amount of an invoice, not tax bills or utility bills. Other municipalities do this. This was not unanimously agreed to by everyone in the meeting. What we put a cap on it so that we're not charging, because if you're going by percent, some invoices can be high. It's an overcharge. I've also proposed, and it is included, an administrative fee for tax sales. So we charge already the fees that the company Real Tax, they invoice us for work that they do for the tax sales, and we charge that back to the tax bill. But we don't charge anything for our time in dealing with Real Tax or dealing with questions about the tax sale process and talking to people about extension agreements or whatever. So you don't want to penalize somebody who's in the process of losing their house. So we try to, in order to allow them as little as possible on the bill for redeeming their house so it gets out of tax sale. But if you get right to the end and it's going to tax sale anyway, then slap the fee on and then it's part of the price that we put on the
Right.
recovery. So then it's not the poor person who lost their house paying it, it's who's ever buying the house. It's just part of the cost
Right.
associated with the tax sale. So that's, I've added that in. For property standards enforcement, when we go on someone's property to undertake work because owner hasn't done it, we're entitled to do that under the Municipal Act and collect the amount in the same manner as taxes. Right now, they have to keep track of all their time and what they're doing, and we charge it back. So for most of the time, it's grass cutting. Sometimes it's other things, but most of the time it's grass cutting. So the bylaw has two proposed recovery amounts. One is for stuff that's not grass cutting. We'll continue to do what we're doing now, which is keep track of everything and build a. But when it's grass cutting, we've put in a standard amount. And how we came up with that was we had an average of the amounts that we paid to do it in the past. And then we bumped it up quite a bit because we don't want to compete with the private sector and we want to encourage people to cut their own grass and not have us go in and do it. Or if they're out of town or something, pay a private contractor to do it. Don't wait for us
Don't
to
wait for us to do it, yeah.
Special occasion permit supervisors, we had a big discussion about this. Historically, we have provided a person at events that serve alcohol, and that person helps sort of police, make sure people aren't taking their alcohol out of the building and things like that. But it means we have to get someone, pay them. It also means that if something did go wrong, we might get blamed because our person didn't do their job properly. So if something went wrong, we'd get sued anyway because we own the building.
Right.
But we're trying to pass as much liability off as we can. We make them get insurance. So we're just going to tell event hosts that they have to provide that person. They need the person, but we're not going to supply it anyway. So that we took all the fees out for those. We talked at a previous meeting about the age of a person to be a senior, so it's all been confirmed at 55.
So 55 is the age?
Yeah. Apparently, somebody changed a form. There was no change at council. I talked a little bit about the collection and how it works. And, assuming in my past lives at the municipalities I've worked in, I've always brought the fees and charges bylaw to council to review prior to looking at their annual budget. Because the fees and charges do inform the budget, and it's a good time to do it.
Social revenue, yeah.
It's just a reminder to do it annually and look at it. So it wouldn't get left for 2 years. Yeah. So then there's my lovely guide.
Okay.
Which, as I said, needs a few tweaks.
So, you put a lot of work into this. I appreciate it, honestly.
It wasn't just me, it was a team of people. Tammy was involved, Marlene was involved, Cecile was involved, Evan was involved, Amanda was involved. It was a team effort.
Yeah. I like your recommendation, and I would agree that this new consolidated fees and stuff, but I would like to just make a note that it's easy to find on our website. You know what I mean? It's just something that you can, click here to see our fees. So that it's kind of like a one-stop document. That'd be the comment I'd make about that. I don't know if there is a strength for going with 5-year fees, honestly, anyways. Maybe you do it for term of council instead, and let if a new council happens to come in 3 years, who knows?
What I was told by Evan was that sports teams and people participating in sports need to know what their budget's going to be so they can do their fundraising and stuff.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
that's also, I forgot to mention, I have to put a phase in for the arena fees that they don't take effect until the summer.
And I get that it's only in draft form, and I get the separate bylaw thing. So there's one piece that you talk about renting equipment that we used to, I guess at one time, rent equipment. So I guess my question would be, do we still have this equipment?
I understand we do, but no one's ever asked for it.
No one's ever asked for it. Is there equipment that we have that people have asked for?
I don't know.
All the equipment that is listed in that policy is pretty old and not used anymore. So there are, on occasion, where we get a request to borrow the big snake, for example,
Would be a good example.
but we don't rent it out unless it was on that policy.
So there might be items to add back into this.
I don't recommend renting our equipment out to residents that are not trained on how to use it. But if you want to,
But something like a big snake, to me, that's a common one.
yes.
Some of the other stuff like the packer, I mean, how many people know how to use that?
Well, that's
Yeah.
the point.
I get that.
And even with the snake, I mean, if they ram it in there and end up bending it, we've
Whatever.
lost a
I
snake,
would
right?
say, never mind bending it, what if they ram it in and they break the sewer pipe?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you should have experienced people.
Okay.
You
So that was my question about the equipment, is do we still have this equipment? Do we have other equipment that may be useful? Or do we just want to take a hard no across the board? I don't know that I care one way or another. But I just thought it was something for consideration. And this is still, just if you want to think about it. Agree, yes. I like that we're putting the fact that we're cutting grass so high, because then it encourages people to go get somebody else to do it for them. The SOP I get, but is there some place where we have a list of names of people who are qualified to be SOP? So if I came to rent, I'm having a wedding this summer and I need an SOP, do you have a list of names that I could call?
I know we have bartenders' names we give out, so I'm sure we could give out names as well.
I think Evan from my past experience, when he's looking for an SOP, he knows who they are. He must have a list.
I'm just thinking, do you know what I mean? Because oftentimes they'll come to the front counter, maybe he's not here, just that someone
To have
more
a
than
list,
just
yeah.
him, has a list that they
Yeah.
could say, yes, here's some people you can call.
He could probably provide it, so.
Yeah. And then when we talk here about fees and charges get added to the tax roll in order to be collected in a like manner. So I haven't read the municipal act, so here's my question. For example, if for instance, we have someone who, for instance, maybe we're gonna be looking to tax sale property, or we're gonna be looking to invest in property. Would items like a fee for cutting the grass, because we had to do it, would that be something that is in a like manner that could be added to the tax roll, or no?
So we add it to the tax roll. The only issue is whether or not you can include it in the price for the sale of the property as
Okay.
part of the cancellation price. So there's two different things in the municipal act. One is creating a priority lien status for debt. And there are certain things that are priority lien status,
Okay,
and they can be included in the cancellation price. And then there are things that are collected in like manner as taxes, which means we add them to the tax roll, but if it goes to a tax sale, they come off.
like manner cannot, so that's the
Yeah.
difference. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't have a comprehensive list for you. I do have it,
I was just, because when I was
No,
reading
it's
that, just
true.
made me ask a question in my head, I wonder about that.
like the admin fee for the tax sale that I recommend, that gets added to the cancellation price. It's a priority lien.
So it's considered a
And I
priority.
believe that property standards is a priority lien.
Okay, okay. And then the last thing,
Stuff is a priority.
I was able to take the 2023 list and compare it to the 2021 and fill in the blanks and figure out like where we were going, up or down. Except I got ran into problems when, for things that I didn't know where to look for. So on page 17 of 21, community hall rentals, arena rentals, ball field rentals, municipal complex, shinny hockey fitness center. Is there some place even that I could go and say, okay, what was the price before we decided to increase it? Where would I find that stuff?
It's gotta be in a bylaw.
The community hall and
Like all these rental fees, I've got nothing to
and
compare
the
the
arena,
2023
looking
with.
for like arena and stuff.
Yeah,
That's in recreation policy M.
recreation, okay, hold on. Policy, M. And that would be in our bylaw list or policy list on our civic web
Policy.
policy list. See policy list on civic web, just so that I can, because I just wanted to kind of compare what we were charging and what the new rate is and what kind of an increase. Are we going to be discussing those amounts further, or this what we've put forward is really what we would like to have charged?
So, like I said, the fees and charges were reviewed by the staff
Okay.
responsible. So
Okay.
Evan told me when he reviewed this, and he did make some changes. He looked at what we charge now, and he also looked at what neighboring municipalities charge.
Okay, so this list is a firm list then?
As
For
far as Evan's
2023, okay.
concerned, but you can make changes if you want.
No.
Yeah.
I have questions about rate structures, that's all. And I don't want to get into a multi-layered list, but those were the few questions that I had just coming up with it. And just the price for the stuff that I could find from 21 to 20, well, actually from 18 to 21 to 23, none of them, nothing looks untoward or looks like, oh my God, that's huge. But I couldn't find some place to compare old hall rentals and stuff. So, yeah. I will find that and I will look at those prices, and then if I have any questions, I can shoot them off to you. For sure. I don't know if anybody else had questions about that.
So under planning in 2021, there's a whole lot, and then the other list is smaller.
Yeah.
Where do all those, like, so someone applied for, I don't know, one of those things that the original cost was $6,000, is it still gonna be $6,000? And they think it's 2,600 or something, plus fees?
I don't know what I could combine. What I could figure out.
No, like, okay, subdivision condo application.
Okay.
And you go to the new one, and it says, where was that one? Plan for a condominium, 2,600 plus fees. So is that person, should they anticipate it's gonna be $6,000?
Well, it depends on how much we have to pay the planner.
Okay,
And that depends on how controversial it is.
okay,
So if you process the zoning application and then somebody appeals it to the Ontario Municipal Board, it would be more than $6,000.
okay. So those original ones were just like a deposit, so someone would have got money back if it wasn't
Yeah.
a contentious issue. Okay,
Right.
okay. And you just simplified that list into a smaller list, I'm assuming?
The smaller list was done by Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I just.
I like the smaller list.
Yeah.
The other list was just so general, I didn't like have to
Yeah.
know the difference between a major, minor, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the new one certainly looks
Yeah,
cleaner,
it's
right?
way better.
Way better, yeah.
Some people like to have these planning fees lower so they encourage development, but it doesn't always work. If somebody wants to develop their property, they're gonna do it. And I don't think a lower fee would mean the difference between, yes, I'm gonna develop my property, or well, I'm not.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Did we, sorry, for
That's
the
okay.
arena, did user groups have a different hourly rate on the existing one? Like, was there like a rental rate per hour, and then if you were a user group, you paid a different price per hour, or did I make that up in my head?
I'd have to look at the old list.
Like, if you're an insured user group, it's a different fee. Is that a thing? No?
I don't think so.
Oh, was that a thing in Terrace Bay that I'm thinking of? It? Never mind.
Oh, that's right, that's not in here because that's the one you have to find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Mhm. I'll look for that policy.
So like a volunteer group would pay less than a.
No, yeah, like the figure skating club or minor hockey, do they have a different rate than me wanting to go rent the ice for an hour? Because they use it
Yeah,
more often,
there's
stuff like that, yeah.
That's a darn good question.
I'll find it.
I thought we did. Maybe am I dreaming that?
No, I think that I was just trying to Google it, search it on my own. But I'm pretty sure that you're right, that the minor groups paid less than.
Yeah.
an
So is that
adult.
just something that we have to have? Do we have to have that listed though in the bylaw then?
You would have to if.
I would think so.
If it's
Okay.
something that you want to apply. I can ask Evan about that.
Or if it,
Evan or you.
because it might exist.
Schedule.
I think it exists.
You think it does,
I'm
eh?
pretty sure it exists. I could be wrong.
It's a comprehensive list. This is gonna be so much easier than having to go from this bylaw to that bylaw, to what year it was passed, to what policy, to what department. One place, one click, it's gonna be so much better for residents. You're gonna be able to find stuff lickety split.
Okay. Good work on that, everybody.
Yeah, lots of work.
Yeah, that was lots of work, yeah.
Okay, number 2 then, treasurer report, transfer to reserves.
Sorry, there is, I just checked recreation policy, and there is a minor organization rate
Okay.
on there.
Is it a percentage?
Not true. Not true.
It's a different rate than the,
Okay, well, that's Kevin about.
And that's under policy, not bylaw, right?
that's under recreation policy.
See how much,
Which is approved by bylaw.
yeah, but this list is gonna be so much easier.
Which I think we should keep. I'm not saying we should.
No,
Yeah.
but it, like, to be able
Just,
to
it should be
find,
listed though.
yeah, you'll be able to go
Yeah.
click, let me check recreation, click, oh, there it is.
Glad you clarified.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying abolish that, no.
No.
I'm saying,
No,
just make sure it's there.
Yeah.
Cause that, if you're a user group and you just saw arena and then that price, I think people would be startled.
They're going, oh, wait a second, I didn't pay that much last
exactly,
year.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, treasurer report, transfers to reserves. There's a recommendation there. Marlene, you're gonna?
These ones are all budgeted transfers, so they were all included in the 2023 budget, with the exception of the transfer to the provincial dedicated gas tax reserve. That was not a budgeted item, but that is a revenue that's received from the province, that gets transferred and will be used when we get the final amount of the purchase of the new Handy Transit. That will come out of that reserve fund. So these were all budgeted. There's no financial implication.
Good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, treasurer report, water and sewer 2024, budget estimates. So. You want to speak to it?
Sure. So out of the meeting that was held on October the 24th, the water and sewer operating budget estimates for 2024 are attached with a 5% rate increase over 2023 rates for each of the water department and the sewer department. Probably very finish that. The financial impact is a total annual increase is $73.56 over January 1, 2023 rates, which equates to an additional $18.39 per quarter on a single family dwelling.
So we're proposing, we've agreed to a 5% increase on both, which is going to result in, for residential, $18.39 per quarter.
Per quarter, correct.
Okay.
Combined.
Combined, yeah, and of course, businesses and their amounts, they'll differ as per the schedule.
Correct.
Right. And it's still, you make a point in here, and I think it's worth stating that since we're accepting these amounts with the 5% levy increase to each department, the total of combined reserve investment is going to be less than what the asset management plan has suggested.
That's correct.
But we've done that in an effort to keep these rates somewhat tolerable.
Amended. Correct.
Okay,
So your rate is gonna go from 367.53 to 385.92 per quarter
Residential.
in 2024.
24.
Just so people
Yeah.
understand that.
that's right.
And I do believe we worked on it before, and I think we should do it again, is put a note in the water bill, the first water bill.
Okay.
I think we should note it and try to explain it a little.
Yes. And no, we cut to get them down to this. So Marlene, what's the next step now?
So if council is accepting, the report, the 5%, if you're solidifying that, then the direction would be to bring forward the bylaw, to the November 28th council meeting with the attached rate, with the 5% in each department.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna bring it forward then? I didn't know if you were gonna, okay, bring it forward to the next meeting then, for sure. Everybody's good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Treasury report, Recreation Committee Reserve Fund transfers.
My screen is spinning right now.
And that's, I'll let you speak to that one too, Marlene.
I just have to pull up the Word document because the council website is not working right now.
On hard copy?
I have a hard copy, go on, Mark.
No, I think I just have to read the right one here. I'll be okay. Thank you. So we are doing the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund
Right.
transfers. Okay, so these are pretty standard. It is for donations. We get vending machine donations, so there is a transfer to reserve for that in the amount of $218.
Marlene, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Because I'm just an incomplete when I don't work. Where do we have vending machines? Please don't say here.
I don't think they were here. They were here, and it was quite lovely during some periods of time. But it's like the gumball machines
And where do we have those?
up at the rec center.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should go there more often. Sorry, Marlene.
No, that's okay. So that's that transfer to the reserve fund.
Right.
Those sales. Oh, we're gonna take over that too. The next one are net apparel sales for 2023. There's a transfer to reserve for that for $233.65.
Is that overall, or does that include here and the Discovery Center?
No,
Okay, thank you.
it is just I'm gonna call it the original Recreation Committee apparel
Okay,
fundraising.
because I was a little horrified thinking that's all we sold. Okay. Okay.
And then we have a transfer to the Rec Committee Reserve Fund.
Sorry, Rosalie has a question.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just didn't think they sold apparel at the Discovery Center.
No, they don't. But like,
No,
we
we
sell
don't.
stuff.
Yeah, we sell
Merchandise.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hats. That's apparel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right.
So we're transferring to the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $965.37, which represents the 2023 Winter Carnival surplus. And we would be transferring from the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund $7,819.05, which represents the 2023 Heritage Days event net loss. So the financial impact, is a net loss to the Recreation Committee Reserve Fund of $6,402.03, leaving a balance of $26,977.73 as of October the 19th, 2023.
And then you've also attached the profit and loss for Winter Carnival and profit and loss for Heritage Days.
Correct.
So, when I was comparing Heritage Days to last year, doesn't seem like we lost as much. Let me guess.
Heritage Days in 2022? No.
It was a loss, but I don't think it was that much.
No, but we did
entertainment
have
was
funding.
We had funding. Oh, see, now that's what I was figured it was. We didn't get a grant, did we?
No.
We not in 23, we did not, but we got Reconnect Ontario in 2022.
We applied for grants,
Yeah,
We did. We were
We did.
denied.
but we were denied. And the thinking was that we were gonna be successful. And that's why we okayed everything. Booking all the entertainment was
Yeah.
the idea we're gonna be successful.
But I think, can I just say this? I think these two things, because Winter Carnival is going to be in January, right? February? February. It's going to be important to take hard copies of this and put them off to one side and say, what's your budget for Winter Carnival? This is what you did last year, and they actually made money, so I'm not even going to take a whole lot of issue with that. But certainly, and I'm talking May, Heritage Days, what's your budget? Have you applied for grants? And maybe we need to look more closely at that.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the proposed Heritage Days schedule that they put out, there's less money spent on entertainment
Yes.
Yeah,
in 2024.
Yeah. I think
Which was
that's for the
substantially
that's for the
helped
losses.
the losses, yeah.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, well, no, believe it or not, we experienced our biggest loss. And this is what happens, right, at community events during the market fair day. But yet, out of everything we ran, that I would say was the most successful as far as drawing people out and having people engaged and involved in the downtown. So sometimes it's not just a question of just cutting stuff, but it's a question of, we have the beautification, recreation minutes coming up. So I don't know that I would change a lot about the market day. But that's where we experienced our biggest loss.
Yeah.
So that there is I'm just after setting budgets early and applying for funding extremely early so that we don't have a loss, because Marlene has just told us that there is now a reserve balance total of $26,977 in recreation. If we start losing $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a year, we're going to run out of Heritage Days money very quickly. That's
Yeah.
all I want to say about that.
Without being successful at obtaining grant money.
Yes.
yeah, I think the whole thing is, we didn't get the grant money this
Right.
year. Would I do it again? You're darn right I'd do it.
Because it
again.
was so successful.
I would do it again in a heartbeat. You
I
gotta
know.
market the town.
You're right.
But
Oh, absolutely.
we gotta be careful at doing it too. So
Yeah.
come January, I'd be nose into the grindstone looking for grants.
For
And
Heritage
it's
Days.
not that we didn't.
No, it's not.
It's not that we didn't. We found the right grants, but we were denied. That's all.
Yeah. So I'm just saying I like your timeline idea, because Heritage Days is in August. We should be looking in January. My hope would be for Winter Carnival, we've already secured some money. It just makes sense to me, good sense, that you plan and you budget, right? And you work this stuff out. And there's more information in the minutes, but I'm just saying it's an important note. Just Amory being Amory, sorry.
No. That's- Okay. Good with that one, everybody?
Yeah.
Move on to 5, the property tax arrears analysis.
Sorry, I lost connection to the server. There's an error, so I'm pulling everything up here. So this is just for information purposes only. The final property tax installment for 2023 was due October the 31st. We had a total of 229 notices that went out, so 48 of those were final notices, so that means that 48 of the 229, those accounts, if they do not pay out their 2022 arrears, they will be eligible for registration come January 1st, 2024, which is an exceptional amount of money that will be added to their tax account as we start the process ticking. So We encourage everyone, if you have received a notice, to make payment as soon as possible.
Or at least contact you
Correct.
to make some kind of arrangements.
Yeah, but if you're in that 48, if you're one of those 48 people, it's really imperative, because off the top, it's about $800 that's gonna be added to your account if you get, if you're eligible come January 1 and you are sent for registration, it's about $800 off the top. So
Right.
get that paid out.
So the
Before the
48
end of the year.
final notices, if someone's got one, they should come and make an appointment to talk to you.
It should be,
How does this rate compare to previous years? Is that a typical number? We normally have like 40?
It's funny, I went into her office yesterday morning, I believe it was.
yeah.
It goes, Marlene, guess what? It goes, is this normal? This is normal, right?
This is normal.
So.
It's close.
It's pretty close, and it happens every year, and again, she knows the clientele.
That's right. That's right. So we're not saying we're going to put 48 people in for tax registration. It's just that there are some of them getting close. So if this is normal, expected, just from historically the things that you've seen, what percentage did you think of this 289,000 we probably are going to collect or make payment arrangements on? Half?
I think out of the 48, I had given the mayor was, I figured that there's a potential for 6 then maybe. Right?
For 6. So probably
Potential.
75-80% of the money we're actually going to collect. Okay. Because that just falls, I mean, the number didn't scare me I want to collect all the taxes. The number didn't scare me only because, anyways, as far as the 2021 allowance for doubtful accounts, we still had sufficient money in there to cover that. So I'm not concerned about it, but yeah, that was my question. Yeah, is it normally this way? I'm going to keep this for next year so that we don't panic.
I always go in.
No, because and so for people that are watching, let's be honest and say 174 were current and are probably they're definitely going to be paid. So it's not that the township of Schreiber is falling behind in taxes again. That's not what this is about at all. Is it, Marlene?
It is not.
It's not.
It's just to encourage people to pay their, because it's easy to forget. You get,
Yeah.
You have that,
Oh,
missed
shoot.
it, oh shoot, I missed it, whatever, right?
When you get the final notice, there's probably a pretty quick reaction to that.
I have already been contacted by many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
good.
And I would say too that I'm sure that Marlene's more than willing to work with people to bring them back into compliance.
Absolutely.
Okay, number 6, community revitalization project reconciliation.
First, community revitalization project. This was a multi-year, going back, I do believe it was to 2018, and it is in completion in 2023. It includes both the Discovery Center and the downtown revitalization. I do need to give a shout out to our Finance and Special Projects Administrator, Kim, who came into this project 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through, picked it up, and has gone with it, and is the one that has gone back and picked up the claims and completed all that stuff. So we do need to give credit where credit is due there. For 2023, our budget was, we budgeted the project. So because the project is, it was a large project over multi-years, multi-funding bodies. At the end of each year, we have had an unfunded amount in our capital fund that gets carried over each year until the completion of the project.
And the filing of the claims.
And the filing of the
Yes.
claims, yeah. So the table that is part of the report shows that the estimated unfunded amount at December the 31st of 23 is just over the $646,000. However, what was budgeted out of that is a portion to be transferred from the NWMO Community Wellbeing Reserve Fund just under $340,000 to be transferred to cover part of that 646. We had budgeted the just under 335 to be borrowing, with all things being equal and we get exactly what we claim. We are estimating that the amount or the unfunded amount, the amount that is budgeted to be borrowed is 306,846.
Is that not considerably lower than we thought it was going to be?
Nope, you were budgeting the unfunded, the borrowing portion to be just on the 334,811.
So
Yeah.
we're close, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
less.
We're a little bit less, so yeah.
So on your graph, I only have one question. So I've got the total project cost less what everybody was paying. What is less 2022 merchandise grand opening?
Because that actually, so those total project costs, that 4.6 million actually included in 2022, the cost of merchandising, so your whistles, your hats, all of that
Yeah.
we bought to set up, to have inventory up there, but that was really budgeted and paid through taxation in 22. So it's included in that 4.6, but it was actually already funded. So it reduces the amount of the
Okay.
project.
That's because I was thinking, wait a second, I saw that on the budget.
Yeah.
So that's just, so that's like funded through taxation.
Yeah.
Okay. And all the final reports are in, yes? I'm sure, I've seen that someplace in another report.
For what? What do you-
For all the final claims are in, sorry.
No, I believe Tim is still working on the final claims
Okay.
for,
So,
when
so next steps are,
submit the claims and you wait for the funding bodies to let us know, what comes, what they are considering eligible and what our final revenue is from each funding body. And then council will determine, if indeed you are going to do borrowing and what type of borrowing
we're gonna be looking
that
at.
you're gonna be looking at, what kind of a term.
Can we do the or should we do, not could we, because we can, should we do the transfer from NWMO before the end of this year?
I think so.
So,
I would suggest, I was talking to one counselor earlier, so I do have a call out. Because it is unlikely that we will know based on the speed of the response of the claim evaluations, whether or not we do get the full 1.6 million from FedNor, 2.1 from NOHFC, right? So what I'm thinking is going to happen, unless we get some kind of miracle and we get it all back and we know before the end of the year, is that it's going to show up as unfunded capital at the end of 23. But it's a bookkeeping thing until you determine whether or not you're going to borrow or you're going to, I don't know whether or not there's any intention to transfer from anywhere else, but how you're going to borrow.
okay, so if we get those final claims in, I'm gonna suggest you won't see them back by the end of December.
I don't think so.
So that's fine, but we could transfer the money from NWMO. Could we use these estimates then in planning to budget to see what we're going to do, whether we take some of that money from reserve, which I'm kind of guessing we're not going to, but maybe, or borrowing, and how that would affect our 2024 budget moving forward? Or is it almost too early to act without knowing answers from funders? Like, I'm just thinking, I got timelines in my head.
Yeah, I think my recommendation would be that you go ahead with the transfer from the NWMO Community Wellbeing Reserve Fund, because it's a set amount of money. Your project, your cost, your expenses are complete.
Right, we've spent the money.
Yeah. The only, we could go out and get, costing for borrowing where we are at the 306 right now, to find out what that would look like. Could be something that,
You could then present in a budget format, because we're gonna be looking at 2024 budgeting soon.
yeah, and you could say, okay, well, what do we look at? What kind of a amortization period are we looking at? What are the rates that we're looking at?
Because you could present a couple scenarios, could you not?
Yeah.
If we went over 5, this is what it would be. If we went over 10, this is what it would be.
Yeah.
Here's the cost. Is that something
The only,
that you think we'd be interested in having for budget time?
Yeah,
I think it is an important factor to put in there 100%. I would agree with that for sure. The only risk is if it ends up that, okay, they don't, they short us $100,000. Well, that means you're borrowing $100,000
Right.
more. So that's what,
But we would at least have some conception of what this is gonna cost.
exactly.
So recommendations, then I would say she's gotten it on here, but I would say to move forward with looking to transfer that money from NWMN and then looking at giving us some options because it's going to affect our budget next year.
I thought we had already said that money from the nuclear waste management or the community well-being was going to that.
Yeah, but she needs to now then make a separate recommendation at a meeting that we get approval
Well-
to move that stuff.
Council could, you're at the committee of the whole right now, you could do your own recommendation right now to transfer that money from the community, NWO community wellbeing, because you know how much you do have a portion of it left, right, that you're saving for that other project. So this was the amount that you had earmarked, and if you wanted to put that recommendation forward tonight, you have the ability to do so, and
I would
then,
do that.
Rosalie?
Yeah, saves a lot of work from Marlene's. And it saves time at council. You have one less report to do.
and then for the December the 12th, we'll look at the possible borrowing scenarios. Does
Yes,
that sound-
just for the amount that
Yeah.
we were guessing.
Different scenarios, okay.
I would go with that for sure
Yeah.
then.
Does everybody think that's a good idea?
We're gonna do that now.
Mm-hmm. How do you want to do this? Just tell her to do it, or?
Yeah.
Or Marlene?
No, but it'll be in the minutes.
It's just a
It'll be-
recommendation.
it'll also come forward as a recommendation.
You don't need anything any more formal than that? So you're gonna transfer the 334,811, and then we're gonna work on the borrowing figures for the rest. On the estimate. Okay.
Okay, we're good with that then? And now it's Director of Operations.
Thank you, Marlene.
Status report. I guess Tammy can speak to that then?
Okay, plow truck is back in Schreiber and back in service. The grader is back and it's back in service.
Tammy, on those two pieces, do you have any idea on what that new computer was gonna cost? Just rough, no?
Yes, I got the bill for the plow truck today, and I'll
He's
be
laughing, I know it's not good.
I'll be
He's going,
putting
she's
a
not gonna be happy.
recommendation to council
Okay.
next meeting. 15,000.
Okay.
Now that was also the safety, the annual safety. So brakes and shocks and that kind of thing were also included in that.
And the new computer?
Yeah.
Which was, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the grader, do we have a number for that yet?
I do not.
Okay. And, okay, sorry, Cam. Okay, keep going.
The Sterling is currently in Terrace Bay getting its annual safety. There's going to be an expense on that truck as well. It needs a couple things. So as soon as I get quotes on that, I'll be putting a recommendation through to you as well, because it'll be over the threshold.
Boy, oh boy.
The wreck truck, the old wreck truck sold. Handy transit van, it has arrived. So
The gov deal stuff, that just goes into revenue? The money that we got for that truck?
Oh, it will come into revenue, yeah.
It's not $15,000, I know, but every little bit helps, okay. Sorry.
it's a little tickle.
Yeah, it is a little tickle, you're right. Okay.
The handy transit van arrived October 24th, so the Public Works crew has been working at getting the decals on it, and it's been outfitted with the GPS and camera, so I'm just waiting for one more decal that I believe was supposed to arrive midweek last week, so I'll have to check to see if it did arrive. But I think we're very close to being ready to put this van on the road. So I'm looking for a preferred date from council that you want to have your picture opportunity so that I can send invitations out to our neighbors.
Absolutely.
No matter to me, I know me and Rosalie got a meeting. No, I don't want to tie it in with that. We got a meeting next Wednesday.
Like, is December better?
I would recommend December. Maybe the first or second week of December. And
Okay.
then we're sure that we'll have the logo in, and I'm sure that we'll be ready to go with it.
So either the 4th, or you want to do it on a work, I'm guessing a work day. That makes sense. And everyone's going to be around.
Yeah.
So either the 4th to the 8th or the 11th to the 15th. What works better with people's schedules? Doesn't look like I have a whole lot on mine. But I think it's a great opportunity, especially for both mayors,
And,
like get everybody involved.
yeah. Off the top of my head, my schedule's pretty.
So do you want to do it on a Wednesday, December 6th?
Sure.
Okay, and who do you want, the two mayors? And do you want the CEO from the hospital present? Or
Yeah.
do you want your whole committee, Handy Transit Committee present?
Yeah, sure.
Include them.
That'd be fine too. And Erica Parent played a big part in this, so I would like her there too.
Okay,
So Northern Pinoche, Parent Committee. Like a ribbon cutting kind of a thing? I don't know if you do that for a vehicle?
I don't know. I think you just do that.
Don't hit it with a champagne bottle.
You know, we got enough vehicles fixed.
well, you could put a big bow on the keys.
So what, you want to have it done here? In Schreiber, I'm guessing?
Sure.
Where?
Right out here.
Over.
Okay,
And you want to invite media? Make sure all your media's there?
I will make the appropriate arrangements for you then.
He's looking at me because he knows he's going to have to make a speech, but I want to. And I just want to say, it'd be nice to have a big split. I mean, it's not every day we buy a Handy Transit. That's a big asset. I think it's worth celebrating. That's just Emery, because I don't have to pay yet.
5 years from that date, you'll get another.
Yeah. Exactly. Thanks, Pam.
Okay, and as far as equipment goes, our CVOR was renewed, license plates are renewed, so we are ready for winter.
Okay.
Insurance forms have all been filed, waiting for a quote back from them. They haven't been looking for extra information, so I think the forms were pretty complete. The on-demand heaters.
Tim, before you go move on,
Sure.
has a request been sent to our partner about some of the issues we've got with landfill?
Rosalie was going to take care of reaching out to Terrace Bay.
Okay. Thanks.
The arena heat upgrades, the 4 on-demand heaters, I believe, were plumbed in today, hooked up to the system today.
Supposed to be.
So I think that they are up and running as of today. I will check on that. I did call over at 4 o'clock and they were still working on it, but the infrared heater work started this week. So we're thinking about 3 weeks later we'll have the completion of the infrareds as well. The roof work, I provided an email to council with an update on that. So we'll be looking for some warranty work to be done in the spring.
Tam, we go back to the arena work just for a sec? Did the chiller and brine pump come in?
They have not arrived yet.
Okay.
To be honest, that's working to our benefit because it's going in the old hydro garage and it's going to, I don't want to risk damaging it, so the longer it takes to come in, I think, is to our benefit. But it has all been ordered.
Okay.
So on the roofing, the good news is it's sealed.
It is sealed. It is watertight.
Better news is it'll be fixed next spring.
It'll look nicer next spring, yes, for sure. Minimum standards, I am looking to engage an app that was designed by OGRA to help with the, to meet minimum standards for weather tracking. There is a cost associated with that that we'll have to pay annually, but I think that it's well worth the money to meet minimum standards.
So I look outside and I say, yeah, the snow's deep enough, I have to shovel. That's just me. So I don't understand. I'm guessing this is way more involved. So what is I read the minimum standards, I understand that, but so what is this weather monitoring equipment do?
We're not buying equipment.
You're buying an app that says what?
Yes. So the problem is the foreman is working. So
No, I get all that.
he doesn't have time to take the weather. I had alarms set on my phone, but then I'm in a meeting and I just dismiss the alarm and I don't get the weather. You have to have the weather forecast. It's not just a matter of looking outside. You need the road temperature, the wind, all of that affects your roads. So you need to have all of that data recorded minimum 3 times a day. I've been looking for an app that can email me that data so that I'm not missing any, so that we're not in non-compliance with the minimum standards. So this app emails it. It's designed by Ontario Good Roads. It's specific to roads. So it shows the road temperature, the air temperature, the wind, all the factors that will affect ice or snow formation on your roads.
And what does that do for the documentation part?
Yeah.
How does that help?
Because it's emailed and I print it.
So you have that documentation.
And I save all the emails.
You have like 900 emails.
Pardon?
Aren't you gonna have like a bajillion emails?
Well, I do anyways, but
Just sift through? No, I know, yeah.
This would save so
Okay.
much of that.
Just seems like that's a lot of emails a day, just on
And
weather.
what Ms. Ivy didn't tell you is that she checked with a service she used to be familiar with MTO, and it was much, much more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is this a better price, but it's OGRA, like you're paying into a municipal service organization too.
Right.
So it's nice.
I just didn't understand what it did because I'm just thinking I don't understand what this app would do.
it's emailing me the data.
Okay.
So I print one time a day, once a day in the morning, because you have to have the 24-hour forecast. And then I save the emails for the remainder times that it emails you the data. So when it comes up that something may have happened on your road, and usually you'll be dealing with the courts 3-4 years later, they'll want to know what the weather was that day and the day before and how you treated your roads. So this is important documentation to have.
And you could probably store it electronically as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And 10 recipients. So I'm just gonna say, for the love of God, it's not just going to you. You're not taking this on by yourself. Must be going to different people within different departments. No.
I send it to the Public Works Department.
Okay.
There's
so that
only
everyone's
one-
on the same page.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
thought I seen your name on the list too.
Yeah, that's all I need. Hey, Anne Marie, it's gonna snow. Oh God. Yeah. No, I didn't understand what this app would do.
And I think every
It makes sense.
every little bit, like with go back to the GPSs and the cameras and everything like that. This day and age,
Yeah.
thank God you need them.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
insurance.
you're paying a little for it, but,
Yeah.
Saves you in the long run, really.
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Thanks for helping me out, because I really didn't understand. I didn't, not that I thought it was a bad idea, because I think for $3,082, it's a pretty small investment. I'm just thinking, what is this app? Okay.
Okay, and then jumping over to our Christmas decorations, we have a local electrician that has been doing a lot of work for the township, and they have recently purchased a man lift, so they have provided us a quote to install the 15 Christmas decorations on our street lights. And the quote that he has provided, he has quoted 6 hours. He has never done this before. He is pretty confident that he can do it in less than 6 hours. So the quote is high. But it will, until he does it at least once, he'll have a better idea of what timing he'll need to complete the job.
It's less than what you paid last year, though.
Oh, yeah, a
Sounds
lot.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
And then he also, Mooney was asking about getting some lights on the Christmas tree out front.
I was going to ask you about that when the beautification committee meetings come up.
Yeah, so so he also provided me a quote for that. So if he can do the street decorations in less than 6 hours, then we can use the man lift, because you rent the man
Yes.
lift $300 a day, so he can use it in the same day to do the trees, and he's quoting $190 to do the tree.
And we have all the lights.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
Been talking with, Tammy's been talking with him, I've been talking with Jake for 8 months now, since he's borrowed a lift off Marathon.
Yeah, no, somebody
And
local, I think, is
so-
wonderful.
And actually Paul's been talking to him too, from Terrace Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't you buy a lift? Why don't you? Actually, they were going to buy the Marathon lift, and I can't remember what happened. I don't think the guy went out of business, so ended up buying this one from Thunder Bay. Like, remember, Dan will remember, probably Dave too, a flickering light, and I mean, it was flickering for about 2 months, and we were just getting a bad rap for it and everything throughout the town. Because you're not going to bring a contractor down from Thunder Bay unless you get 4 or 5 streetlights.
Well, sure.
Jake said he can do them too. So now we got a local contractor that can do,
The stuff that
I
we.
think, all the electrical work. I can't think of anything that he probably wouldn't be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a win-win for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to support.
No, that's awesome.
Perfect.
And the tree I was going to ask is it's a beautification. But yeah, it's awesome. Okay.
Okay, so, and he's planning to do the decorations next week.
Okay.
The commercial kitchen at the community hall.
Thank you.
We did have a thermal mechanic come in and do a repair on and inspection on all of the propane to make sure that we were safe. He drilled out a couple of the holes on the burners that were plugged. He's got a thermometer ordered for the conventional oven. So I don't have a price on that yet, but they'll be reasonable. And next time he's going through again, he'll replace that.
Jamie, when it comes to, sorry, Winnie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, overall, when he comes, what's the overall condition of the stoves and that up there?
Good condition.
They're in good condition, eh?
Yeah.
So it's not worth looking for a grant and getting them replaced or anything yet at this point in time.
They're in good condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they just needed some maintenance.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Minor maintenance.
Can I ask, on the oven controls, Tam, the temperature has been erased. Is there some way we can rejig that?
He's ordering new knobs as
The new
well.
knobs?
Yeah.
And last but not least, only because I was in the kitchen when we blew one of those knobs off trying to start a stove. Is there some way that we could say directions for starting those ovens and laminate it and put it someplace, because we couldn't find where to turn the fan on, and we finally found where to turn all the propane on. I'm thinking, should probably know this, and I don't. But we've got different groups using it, and I bet you some of the groups probably know better than I do. But that night we were stuck. I said, I have no idea how to get any of this stuff on.
So we did have a bit of a breakdown in communication for that night. We did know that the kitchen was going to be used. So one, the pilot lights should have been on.
Yes.
Thank gosh, our lead hand was present and he did it. But simple I would never supply instructions on lighting the pilots, but we could supply instructions on how to turn the stoves on.
Do you know? Because really, and I don't know where the switch for that fan is.
Yeah, I can do that.
The overhead fan, like, how do you even turn that on?
It's a matter of finding where the light switch is, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Just so that people who are renting it or using it know.
Okay, I can do that.
But yeah, we were looking at the ovens and I just thought, you could put something in the oven, but God knows what the oven's set at. It might be 250, it might be 500.
Yeah, yeah, we have ordered the knobs.
You know,
Thanks.
I'm a little bit off topic here, but it's a notice too that I got a picture on my cell phone what Marathon does, and it doesn't give a name of the employee working. It just gives a phone number, the cell number. And I was talking a little more about it today too. Like you could have it on the windows of the. Like I got a phone call when I was in Fort Francis saying there was 2 hockey teams up there and the arena wasn't open. I didn't check my message until about 4 hours later, so whatever, but if you had a number
To contact.
to
That's a good point.
contact, just phone that number or like have it throughout the building here and there. Like I'm not 10 of them or anything, but 2 of them saying this is the number to contact if you need something, like maybe 2 notices in the dance hall and maybe 2 in the arena. A person could have got called out to the medical center for something, and they're needed right away up at the arena.
So you're proposing the rec phone number be posted?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is that the number we would phone to say, hey, I don't know how to turn the fans on?
Yes. Yes.
So then I think
But
that's
if
perfect.
they were not on shift and somebody arrived at the arena and we have nobody working, that phone stays in the office. So that wouldn't help you in that situation.
Well, if the arena's open, why would
Or the rep center's open, someone's working, no?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. If somebody showed up at the arena and it was all locked up and we don't have a shift running,
Oh, I see what she's saying.
Oh, okay.
But I think in every other instance, it would be good to have that phone number posted to
Okay.
them.
I see what you're saying.
I agree. I think that's a smart idea.
okay,
There's an in the
You know, if it's like a tournament rental, you could put it on the form that they fill out to book the arena for the weekend too. Like,
Right.
This is your contact number.
Yeah. Instead
Yeah.
of trying to figure out stuff themselves,
Yeah.
right? Or say, we're going to move this here. Well, wait. Where's the guy that's working? Yeah.
Because we had an incident with this building last year. With Dance, she was trying to get in and couldn't find the person who was working. So I
So,
tried calling you, you were out of town somewhere, and then Corey called someone else. And anyways, but then we found the person. It was a pain in the butt.
yeah. So to have that number posted, it's not a bad
Okay.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
so I think that's pretty much the report.
The splash pad rocks we're going to talk later on in the fire department report, so that's
Yep.
fine.
And the water inspection, all the documents were compiled and sent in to the inspector, so it's just wait and see now.
Okay.
Okay.
Director of Operations number 8, the Ethel Street flooding.
Can I just say thank you? I got several, and it's a problem. And I'm going to say this, it's not, I know this is not just about one street flooding, because come spring, we had floods everywhere. But this was, like, not good.
It says right there in their own letter that it's been doing this since
Yeah.
1970. So unfortunate that it's happening. The fix, the proper fix would be very expensive because really we should excavate the road and redo all the sewage pipes. But as a fix, the Public Works is going to try and run a heat trace through that cross pipe, but there is a 90-degree elbow on the other side of the street, so it will depend on whether or not they can reach up that way far enough to grab the heat trace to pull it around the 90. So we're giving that a try. That solution will incur some cost with activating the power on the hydro pole again.
But you can see where at one time that was hooked up? Yeah.
It was hooked up to a pump.
Oh, okay.
Naturally, the pump freezes every time it was used.
Yeah.
The other thing is that it's really imperative to keep the sumps, soakaway pits, covered with snow for as long as you can. Every time we let a little bit of water down there, it'll freeze, and then next thing you know, your pipe is frozen solid. So it's important that we keep the snow cover to insulate that. And but with the heat trace, if they're successful in doing that, that will open it up even if it does freeze solid.
How far do you have to run that heat trace?
It's the width of the road.
It is, all of that, yeah.
Okay.
Because too, it seems to me it's not just the snow on that road, it's the snow coming off the hill. Is it not only there's the way that line runs?
It runs alongside the mountain.
Right?
Runs, I was trying to explain it. Don't matter. It runs alongside of the mountain, actually all the way to the OPP across to Super Test in that field. Kind of goes all the way down Manitoba Street and then comes out by Flowers and things.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's imperative that it doesn't have to be clean, the ravine or ditch all along the highway, but right in that rock cut area is huge. And for the most part, it's been good. I agree, the line across the street has been giving issues as of late.
Because the pictures that I sent really were after some of the water had drained. When I got there, I went back home to get boots, and he said to me, do you know about 10 years ago, we had a picture of us floating a boat in here, and I'm like, please don't do that.
It's at
Please.
Rosie and Josie's.
Yeah.
On the counter, framed.
Please don't do that again. Please don't do that. But it was a real issue, and it took several attempts. So it's not like this is new. So the fact that I thank you very much for taking this and running with it and coming up with some type of solution to help these people. It's not good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, and I think everybody works together and it'll get better.
Yeah.
And if they get that, when are they running that line, Tammy, or have they?
They were going to work with the weather, so hopefully this week, since we're in between snowstorms, they could possibly work at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
And that it should work to keep that open. Because that's what happens, right? It freezes, and then the water's got no place to go, so it goes into driveways and into homes and in yards and...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Township of Schreiber road maintenance. Winter road maintenance policy.
So that is your old winter road maintenance policy is dated 2002. So this is updating that since minimum standards changes. This is basically updating the measurements in your minimum standards and making sure that when you have a policy like this and you know that that's how you treat your roads day after day, time after time, it will help you if ever you do land in court with an incident happening on your road. So it's important that you have an updated policy.
So the revised November 13th is what's revised.
Well, your old policy is 2 pages long and this one's much longer.
Okay.
My computer's not opening again.
You guys
Did
are
you
not
get
having
back
any luck.
online?
No,
Well-
mine's done again too.
Just, Tammy, were you talking, in section 5D and section 6, you talk about, let me just go back there because I made notes. 5D and, well, 6 is probably weather monitoring. As required by the regulation, weather monitoring takes place. You might want to mention your OGRA app
Yes, we could.
in
now.
that section there and in
Yeah.
section 5D. Just because you got it, right?
Yeah.
And I think moving forward, what happens in a couple of years if someone decides, no, we don't need that? Well, wait a second, it's in a policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Okay.
Section 9 sidewalks, is this a complete list of sidewalks? And the reason I'm asking is because of section 9.2. No sidewalks forming part of the municipal roads other than those set out in 9.1 will be maintained.
That's right, we do not maintain all sidewalks.
Right.
So those are the only sections of sidewalk that is maintained during the winter months. And that was as per your old policy.
Is someone gonna go over and double check this?
You mean
did?
go and check the sidewalks, the sections? I did.
It's confirmed that there's no other outstanding sidewalks?
No, those are the only ones that we do. And I did provide this policy to our foreman for the public works to look over for accuracy, and get any input from him. So we did consult with public works.
So the sidewalk and entryway here is not on this list because it's not considered a sidewalk?
Oh no, that's on private property, right?
No, right in front of our town building.
The whole street on the other side of the street.
Right,
Okay. That gets done.
that gets done.
Yeah.
Okay.
What gets done?
Not that sidewalk.
Alberta Street, doesn't it get done?
No,
Well,
no, they put the snow.
Oh, you're right, I'm
so-
sorry.
For the buses and stuff, they
So
push
they-
it wide.
Do it with the grader.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
okay. Oh, I see, that's the difference. Okay. So it's municipal sidewalks. Parking lots, got it, back lanes. I didn't know that they didn't clean back lanes. I thought that we just did.
Not all of them.
Okay.
We used to have to do that one up on Icebester, but now we don't.
Right.
That's right.
Right, no, exactly. Significant weather events that are not town emergencies, there's a lot of stuff in here, and only because there's tons of it in the news right now, and it's been mentioned to me from some of our residents. I have a question, a magic word for you, potholes. It's not mentioned in this.
Because this is a winter road maintenance
Okay.
policy. So we just fill in with snow in the winter.
fill in with
No, I'm
snow.
just kidding. But we were
I
getting,
told a joke about that.
we were getting behind on our potholes because we were waiting for the material. Our supplier was only going to make the material in the fall. Once they made it, then they had to send it away for testing to make sure that it met all the standards. So that's what took us so long to get material in so that we could fill the potholes.
Okay,
There will be another report with summer maintenance standards.
Yeah,
so, but there's no winter road maintenance policy. I guess this just comes into effect when we get winter.
the
Because there's no
winter,
dates.
winter is defined as October
last
1st to
definition.
April 30th.
So I'm gonna say again,
It's in there.
potholes,
Well, they just got the
October 1st, sorry,
They just got the blacktop in
Mhm.
yesterday or
Okay.
the day before. They filled a huge amount of potholes in the
But you would
last
be
day.
filling them this time of year anyways, would you?
Hey,
You would be filling them this time of year.
if you have material
Yeah,
and they
stop.
just got the material.
Okay.
And it was huge to get that material because you know what the streets are like in the spring. So now they have a stockpile to
Yeah.
work out of. If they didn't have that, I'd be more worried about that.
Springtime.
Thanks. Thanks. No, it's a much better policy than what we had. There was a couple things that I just got thinking about. And is this a public policy?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, all things Wendy.
It's got all the depths, right? This is how much snow has to fall. I mean, the highways do that. This is how much snow has to fall before we're gonna come out.
So, to be clear, town roads are classed as class 5. Highway is classed as 3. So the depth on the highway is less than what we allow on town roads.
Okay,
So the class of the road identifies what your maintenance is going to be.
okay.
The province has different standards than the municipal act standards as well.
Your collector roads got different.
All of our roads are the same classification. It's just that we've labeled them differently to talk about priorities of which one goes first to get
Okay.
plowed, and major intersections are gonna get sanded first and things like that, but they're all classed the same based on the classification system and the regulation.
And that would
Which one's
trigger
first, right?
weekend work, like after hours, normal working hours would be the snow depth.
The snow depth, yeah,
Okay.
and the minimum standards, yeah.
Okay. So that's why this whole road classification's in here. So that's, okay, so it's
Yep.
different, okay. And then our list of equipment. How we make decisions. Well, I think it's really in-depth. I just had questions here and there.
Okay, here.
So I don't know if anybody else has got any questions.
Good work. Was,
Yeah.
again, another pile of work. Yeah, it was completed.
Down through the list.
Yeah, well, the whole bad lane thing, we had an issue last year, right? So I'm just remembering that if we don't do them, we don't do them.
Yeah,
Well, winter always brings out the, I don't know,
Frustration.
frustration, well, yeah.
The best, yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. So, anyway. Okay, number 10, Director of Operations report.
so that one is on the solid waste collection bylaw. The one that you were operating from was from 1998. So again, it's just updating the bylaw. And as it states in your report, it's mirrored very much the same as what Terrace Bay does, since we share the landfill. There's some additions to the bylaw as far as defining the weight of cans. That differs from your old bylaw. Discussion, this is really just a starting point for discussions. So we've also talked about possibly adding the bag tag system, and recycling is covered in this bylaw. So there's a lot of material in this one that's covered. It's very detailed compared to what you were operating from before.
And I know this is the first stab at it, but we need to put this into place rather quickly.
I need this established so that I can establish an agreement with a service provider.
I did look quickly at that bylaw and I would like to play with it with my legal hat, my non-legal hat. So when you see it, it'll be probably different formatting, but it'll be the same content.
Okay. Do you need a decision tonight on bag tags and garbage pickup dates, times?
The more you can settle, the the quicker we can move this ahead. I mean, we're running out of meetings that we can get the new agreement in place to start January 1st. Because that is our goal, right? To have the new agreement in place by January 1st.
Right.
So I need details for the bylaw settled so that I know how to proceed with the service providers.
I definitely got no problem with, I mean, everybody, I had one complaint about, if we went down to, they were watching the meeting, which, and we're
I
glad
hope
they,
our residents do.
we were glad, I got, from a restaurant about the 1 day. And that's the only complaint I got. So if we went down to 1 day, we were looking at saving some money. That's what that was all about. And the businesses would be picked up on that Wednesday too. I'm not quite sure if they'd be picked up in the same order and then go back and get the residential, or just start on the north end of town and head south. I don't know. That's up to them to figure it out if we ever go that way. And I think it's a great start in trying to save a few dollars. Personally. Did anybody else get some complaints? I think I forwarded.
You forwarded it to us. I got a couple of more, but mainly from the same style of business from restaurants. That once a week. But two, I will say, in addition to that, I hadn't really thought about what we would be charging businesses to pick up that garbage once a week. Because that's part and parcel of this bylaw as well. It's not just garbage, and we call them bag tags. They're not really bag tags, they're can tags, but that's the way they work, right?
So in the bylaw, the way it states is it's a bag tag, but you could put as many bags in that can as would fit without exceeding 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And one tag will
We'll
cover
go
the
on top.
can.
That's exactly what Tara's
If you're
bag does.
going to have loose bags at the curb, then every
Bag has to be tagged.
That's right.
So, okay, so that's okay. We'll back up to that issue. So when we did this in Terrace Bay many years ago and brought this in, what we had done is gone to a local retailer and talked to him about educating people on what style of garbage cans were allowed. And because some people were going with the great big ones that, hey, listen, this is outside of the purview. But we went with that, and we actually got them to order in a bunch of garbage receptacles, and on his own, he put them on sale like for a month or 2 months before, so that people who didn't have the correct garbage can to go get it. At my house, for instance, I have one correct garbage can. My other one's not going to pass. And and the only time I put loose bags out is when I'm doing leaves or stuff like that. So that's one issue, right? So that's fine. We could do the same thing. And I'm not so worried I am worried for seniors because now we're instituting another fee. This is over and above what we're charging for cemetery or water or sewer or our new fee schedule that we just started off the meeting with, but it's just an extra fee. But over and above that, the businesses with the amount that we're charging, because the business is based on how long we're there picking up your garbage. And if we're bringing, for instance, not just restaurants, but if we're bringing businesses down to 1 day a week, what might have been 5-10 minutes when you were picking up twice a week might be 10-15. So now not only are we not picking up your garbage on the same schedule, but now we're going to charge you. And you're probably going to pay more because it's going to take us longer. So I was just kind of looking for if there's some bend in there.
Actually, if you're picking them up twice a week, they'll pay more that way. If you pick it up in a consolidated pickup 1 day a week, your group is your group spans are large enough that it won't be any more expensive. But if we pick up twice a week, now you're charged twice in that week for that
For
same
that
group.
5 minutes
Yeah.
each. Is there a way that the town could find solutions for specifically restaurants or larger businesses as far as garbage receptacles go?
Most businesses build their own or have
Right.
their own
But
garbage
most
boxes.
restaurants are telling me these receptacles will not hold the amount of garbage we're gonna have to hold now for once a week as compared to twice a week. And my concern in the fall is if you think you got bears now, hang on, Harvey. Because if it won't fit in there, what do you do with it?
Mhm. In other communities that I've worked, it was the business responsibility to make a garbage shed
Right.
big enough to house the amount of garbage that they produce. So I'm not sure as a municipality if you would want to, because I mean, we're already looking at a significant increase for a provider to pick up
Right.
curbside. So if we get into the business of supplying garbage bins for businesses, I mean, you're looking at quite.
Do we
quite
have a
lot.
supplier though that we could say, hey, listen, we can't buy it for you, but we've got a supplier that I think you could work with that's gonna offer you a decent deal?
I can look
I'm not saying we
into
need to
that.
supply them, but you see, imagine Tam, you're in business, and there's a fee schedule that's gone up, which includes business licenses and restaurant licenses, and I know it's only $18 a quarter for water and sewer. Businesses, especially restaurants, pay considerably more for water and sewer than a residence does, and they pay a higher rate of tax. I don't think they pay more, but they pay a higher rate of tax. And now to top it off, now we want you to pay for garbage. It's going to feel abusive, and business is already struggling. If there are little things that we can do to help them be able to conform to this without spending copious amounts of money that logistically most businesses, especially small ones, don't have. I love the recycling program, and I'm hopeful that the recycling program will extend to businesses, because currently it doesn't, right? And even a restaurant, if they could fold boxes, would be amazing the amount of garbage they could cut down. It'd be huge. We currently don't offer that service now, right? So they're either taking it themselves or paying for it to be picked up, and we're putting it in the landfill, which doesn't make much sense
Yeah.
either.
They also have the option, it's not ideal, but they also have the option of taking their own garbage to the landfill as well
Yes.
and using the punch cards. Not convenient by any means.
Not by any means, no. But you see what I'm saying? Like for the average, for me, and I've had bag tags when I lived in Marathon, I've had bag tags when I lived in Terrace Bay, because they were just instituting them there. And I understand, I also know that we're also looking at a way to cut costs, right? So that, because garbage is paid by taxation, is it not? Primarily. This is a way to try and save some of that. I get that. I'm just looking at overall cost of doing business is already on the rise.
I can research it.
Just to try and give them a hand. Seniors, they're gonna pay $2.50 a week because they're gonna buy a garbage can and they're gonna have, like myself, a bag and a half.
Yeah.
Families will pay more. Families create more
But
garbage.
the
That's fine.
recycling program is going to be there. And when that recycling program comes in, it's a, for the people.
hope it will.
It's gonna come, and we're not, if we kick in the bag tag, it's not gonna be kicked in until July 1st to coincide with the recycling program. So everything's like the way we're implementing it, if we do, is a win-win.
Well, if the recycling program happens at the same time, I would agree with you. But do we know that today?
I don't think that's the date we're
July
going.
1st is what we're aiming for the
Yeah.
transitioning to the pro responsible program for recycling.
And I love that program. I do.
If it was delayed, you have time to amend the bylaw too.
If it was delayed.
Yeah.
So can we agree on that? That if that is delayed, that we would delay this program, the bag tag, and charging businesses to coincide with recycling. That's a bit of a bend. I mean, it's probably not much, but it's a bit.
The,
Then you might as well just wait till, for the bag tags, shouldn't you just wait till 2025 then? It's like already July.
Well, the problem for Tammy is that she needs this bylaw to get a new garbage.
No, I get
contract
that,
set,
but can't we just tell Tammy, no bag tag, yes, once a week? And figure it out from there?
Huh?
That's what I am in favor of.
your bag tag is intended to help with the cost of
No,
the
I get
service
that,
provider.
yeah, I get that.
But what Dave is saying is
Yeah,
is cutting our service provision down to once a week enough that we don't need bag tags. That's what he's saying.
And you're also just hammering those commercial businesses with a bunch of stuff.
What's that?
You're just hammering the commercial businesses with a bunch of change all at once. You can spread out the change.
But the other part of the bag tag is to encourage recycling. And it will cut down on, like Anne Marie said, you may go down from 3 bags a week to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the garbage truck went 3 times in Terrace Bay before recycling. And it goes once now, every garbage day. There's no more 3 times. That gets, everything's, the recycling and everything. Better, and it's a better recycling program that's coming. And it's gonna be, it won't be the town picking it up, it'll be a contractor picking it up, and it'll be the government paying for the contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And the packagers, and they get the money off the packagers.
Yeah.
This,
Yes, me.
Just a little heads up of a complaint we got when we implemented bag tags in Kawartha Lakes. And it didn't come until after it was implemented, so, and it was just people weren't aware. And it was people who have adult children or adults with disabilities and the disposal of adult diapers. It takes a lot more. So what we did in Kawartha Lakes was that we came up with a program that if there was a need like that, they got so many bag tags free for the year to just help them with that extra.
So
That
there
was
were
really
there were
the
other
main point.
programs that we could attach to this that would address specific issues.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can structure your fees however you want.
Yeah.
You can, I mean,
I'm just thinking to try and be responsive to people. Listen, I've always thought it's been an advantage to live in Schreiber because for a silly thing like bag tags, right? But when I lived in Terrace Bay, you never questioned it.
Yeah.
You had one can, and it was a slightly bigger can than I've got here in town, and you put 2 or 3 bags, and they're sticky, you put a sticky bag tag on top, put the lid on, and away you go, it got picked up.
I don't think the idea is to increase fees to the residents, but it's to be more responsible with your garbage. And that's what we're trying to encourage.
Okay.
But the commercial side that's here. I see the issue there, and a lot of these businesses struggle as it is, so we don't want to hurt them with additional fees, but, I mean, how soon would they be able to get in on the recycling? Is that coming?
I don't know, that'd be up to, that's
The recycling program that you're looking at, Tammy, would businesses be eligible for that?
Not under this current program.
Those are my 2 concerns. Business pricing and the pickup schedule going down to once a week. Oops, sorry. Prohibited materials. Oh, your schedule B to the bylaw, and I know that you're already gonna fix it. We've got a list of prohibited, and I think there's 3 classes of materials in the landfill agreement. You're probably gonna want that to match the landfill agreement that we're working on right now with Ferris Bay. Because they have different levels in that agreement down there, so I think there's 3 different boxes of what can go and what can't. And then Schedule C is recyclable materials, which would not necessarily, we'd have to spend a whole lot of time on. I mean, I think we'd still bring metal and tires to the landfill because that generates revenue for the landfill, right? But I think everything else would be fine. And then so it's just, it was the collection schedule and the commercial amounts. Like under 5 minutes, $26, 5 to 10 minutes, $52, and it goes up from there. I can't imagine anybody needing an hour to pick up garbage.
No.
And because that's what I mean, but it's just, we just keep hammering them. So that's.
So the quotes that we've received from various service providers at this point have been negotiated down from their original ask based on 1 day a week pickup. So if we go back up to our 2 or 3 day, then that will increase your price that they have offered, quoted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would bag tags make up the difference?
Yes.
So Dave's point about, see, I know, right? Dave's point is, okay, if we go down once a week, do we need bag tags? No. But if we went with bag tags, we could go back up to 2 days a week.
3 days a week.
Oh, yeah. You know, I wouldn't even, for businesses, if we said, okay, we used to do 3 times a week, we're gonna do 2, we're gonna do Wednesdays and Fridays. I don't know how that's gonna look, but we're gonna give you twice a week. Is it on the same schedule you had before? No, but you will have at least twice a week. I could even live with that, taking away 1.
But then you also, in the same sentence, have to say now you're paying for your garbage to get picked up.
Now you're paying, and Tammy's right, because now it is gonna be $52, it'll be less than 5 minutes twice the time. Yeah, she's right about that. I know.
I'm okay with the once a week. I'm just not okay with the tags. We'll vote on some different situations. I don't know how else you're gonna solve this.
I don't know, we haven't got much time.
If she needs to get going in a second. See, and I'm with you. I'm okay with the tags. The once a week and the business fees, it just feels. That's gonna be tough, I guess.
What would the
You're okay with the tags.
I'm okay with the $2.50 for residents. Am I okay with that? Yes. That Terrace Bay residents pay it. Schreiber's never had to. It's gonna be new, but.
How much of a financial impact would it have on Miss ID's calculations of the revenue coming in if you put a set fee for the businesses instead of a timed one? I don't know what that fee would be, but it doesn't have to be as high, and it's less work for the collector to time himself while he's collecting too. I don't know.
The timing will only happen at the beginning of the program once we fit you into a group. If either the business says, I think I'm putting out less than what I originally had, or the garbage collectors are saying, no, they're putting up way more, we can always reevaluate the time. If you go with one flat fee, then you're giving a break to your bigger businesses, and your smaller businesses will have to pay a little bit more because you're finding that equal.
And if it's timed, I was thinking about that too. If it's timed, if Dave and Dan are coming putting their garbage at my business, I'm not gonna let them. Cause I'm paying for their garbage to be picked up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's not timed, if it's only a set fee, yeah, go ahead, I don't care. I'm only paying $10, give me 5, you give me 5, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah. See, my concern is with no recycling program for businesses.
It would make it a lot easier for sure.
I don't know how they're gonna store the garbage. I don't, because you can't fold up cardboard and leave it sitting outside. Like, you can't have your garbage bin and fold up all these boxes of cardboard and leave them outside. Because imagine how that's gonna look when you're picking it up once a week.
If it gets wet, it loses its ability to be recycled.
Mhm.
Like, it's, and then wintertime for a business, I mean, it's one thing to shove a lot of garbage receptacle. I mean, I'm not saying that, but if you're only getting garbage once a week, well, you better build something bigger or get another option somehow, because it's going to be a big deal. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know from talking to a couple of business owners, I'm just trying to think of, like a Sabrarios, for instance. He's got to have, would he have much garbage?
For Severia?
Yeah.
Nah, not really, not all the time, no.
Motels, would they have much garbage?
I would think, no.
Your restaurants are
I
gonna be the
would
biggest
think
producers.
Costa's got the most.
Yes,
Mm.
that's true.
I would think that's got the most.
See, because we said to
You
businesses,
put a time limit, we put a time limit on Costa's, I would think 10 minutes at most.
yeah. Like, to me, for restaurants, if you said, okay, listen, we're only picking it up once a week, and now we're going to charge you, but hey, we're going to pick up all your recycling, for them, it would almost be a wash. But with no recycling services for businesses, this is going to be a hard bill.
Your option is to, it can be part of the provincial program, but if you have your public works pick it up and bring it to the depot at the landfill, just for businesses, and let the province pick up your residences, it's more work for your public works, but it's an option.
That's an option.
Yeah.
I like that option. It's going to give them something. You know what I mean? I don't
Pick up the recycling once a month.
know. If they have the storage capability for
Yeah,
it.
that's no.
For a business, I don't know that they could store
Yeah.
that much.
It's gonna be able to store that.
And I don't know that we could afford
You'd be
the
asking them to do it
time.
once a week.
They might be, right?
No, they can't.
They can't do that.
No, they can't do that.
No, you're right. Especially in the wintertime.
It's a good
No,
thought, though.
they can't.
There is a private company in Thunder Bay called Junkaway, and they came to make a speech at Nebing. Nebing, there was no pickup. People had to take their garbage to the dump. And we had a lot of senior citizens, so he came up with, I'll come once a week on your garbage day to Nebing, and I'll get contracts with people and I'll pick up their garbage and take it to the dump for them. He also picks up large items, and he makes money out of salvaging and selling to resale stores and stuff. I don't know if he would come here, but if he would come here, I don't know, twice a week and do a service for the businesses only, we could find out what volume we're talking about and if they could just
And if it'd be
share
worth
the
his while,
cost
yeah.
for him, if it would be cheaper than, I don't know if it would, and I don't know if he'd come.
Do you mean for
Maybe.
the recycling part only?
No, I
No,
meant
she's
for
thinking all
Garbage pickup.
Yeah.
But he's looking for stuff that.
Well, that's part of his business model, but he does take
Yeah.
garbage to the dump in the rural areas
Yes.
for senior citizens. The mayor at the time said, I paid him to take my garbage. I hate going to the dump, and he wasn't disabled or anything, but
Jan, can we put this off to one more meeting, or do you want an answer tonight, hon?
My wish is really doesn't matter.
Well, it does. It does, because
I
we have
mean-
to work on this, and I know
You
you've got a
know
garbage
what?
contract.
You know what, we could have a special meeting next week.
Okay,
When
that can work.
Rosalie's in town. Tuesday night, next Tuesday night.
I'm really torn with this.
And, I mean, there's some legit concerns here and whatnot, but we also can see the benefit of the bag tags and recycling too. And bottom line is that's why we're bringing the user fees and everything forward is
You know what?
the people.
I'm not here on the 21st. I was gonna tell you guys, I can't come on the 21st. Next week I was gonna come the 22nd and 23rd instead.
That's okay, we can have a special meeting that night, a different.
Whatever night,
So
whatever
it'll be
night.
the Wednesday, the
Yeah,
22nd.
that's fine.
I'm thinking, why is that?
I would just, if I could have some more time to think about this. And I'm tempted to go around and have some conversations, but I think that's just gonna make my life difficult. I don't know what to do with this.
I'm sure
I don't know
you'll
how
have-
seniors are gonna feel about 250. I don't really know. To me, it doesn't feel like it's, I'm being punished for having garbage at $2.50. I got used to doing it in Marathon, and I got used to doing it in Terrace Bay. For me, the
There you go.
250.
You gotta see the picture, you gotta wait
Mm.
back, like, everybody won't see the picture though, they'll just, oh, there's another tax or whatever. It's another way of taxing us and all that, but you gotta see everybody worries about, I don't wanna get into it, but global warming and
Well,
everything like that, everybody worries
exactly,
about that,
it's
but you
expensive.
go and try and help out the environment. Oh my God, you're gonna charge me $2.50?
Yeah, no.
Like,
Yeah.
so.
But
But,
unfortunately for this
and
municipality.
if we don't start doing
Gotta do-
things
yeah, I-
like this, and we keep doing it with the taxes, well, you're darn right, we're gonna tax the pensioners out of their house.
Yeah.
So if we can get the user fees,
I know.
and
I'm not against the user
every
fee.
time we try and do something, well, we never did it that way before.
No.
Well, what do you mean? We've done it this way 30 years now. Like.
No, but times are
We
changing.
have to start changing.
No, times are and I get that, I do. And that's why I'm not even really kicking up that big of a fuss about the bag tags, I'm not. It's just for the businesses, it's
No,
really,
no, I see your point
it's gonna
there.
be prohibitive. But, and I think that's the important thing, I guess, if we get anything out of this, is the cost for municipalities to deal with garbage is rising incrementally. I mean, it's going to be a real expensive
Oh,
business,
it's huge.
right?
It's huge. It's a huge environmental thing right now. And the government ain't giving out the land for, it sounds stupid, but they're not giving out the land for landfills anymore.
That's all part of it. You need a place to put your grass,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah,
And you gotta be,
And if we're smart
if you're,
about,
exactly,
yeah, if we're
Dan.
smart about that, then, it's gonna extend the life of your land.
yeah.
So-
And I like that she's rolling it in for residents, like with the recycling, 'cause it's gonna make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Because right now, I put out garbage, and I don't pay for it, but I drive my recycling down to the landfill. Just because I don't like it clogging up my back porch for once a month, right? I just go down there.
Okay, let's, okay,
Move on.
We'll move on and, we'll have,
Special meeting.
we'll schedule a meeting for next Wednesday night if that's okay with everybody. And, between now and then, let's put our thinking caps on and try and get through this, but.
Okay.
Okay, number 11 then.
Poor Tim.
So your current provider has been working without a contract for the last 4 months of 2023 and is hoping to be compensated the difference to for the last 4 months that he's been collecting the garbage. We have not established a contract price yet.
Because we're holding you up by not making these decisions, right?
And you will have options.
Right.
For your service provider when we come to that stage. So I'm not sure what number to put in this recommendation is. But I think we need to make a commitment to compensate at the end of the 4 months.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
we could, like you estimated the cost of $9,000 there. I think we could probably, give him 5,000 of it right now. Like really, I think we could pay him up front if he's not, making ends meet or right now, or anything
Well,
like that.
yeah, I think he's been very patient, really, right, Tam?
Absolutely, yeah.
A good faith payment would be,
A good faith, I love that word, good faith payment, quite right.
it demonstrates that you're serious when you tell him he will get paid. And it gives him something right now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, we'll definitely try and work with him.
Now Tammy needs a number.
Then we need a number.
If we're gonna make a good faith payment, how much is it? And we would be making that now, as opposed to December 31st. And then we'd be owing him more on December 31st, depending on the end of
How that's gonna all work itself out.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Wait a second. She's
So
got the
I-
financials on the front end of this.
Estimate of 9,000 was based on the difference, based on the proposed contract price that we're looking at.
That we haven't agreed to, but it's,
Correct.
so we're still paying the old 5-year-old price,
Correct.
but we're saying over and above this, we should do this.
Yeah.
Perfect, okay. Okay, and so your number was, sorry, Tom, I know it's in here.
My estimate at the end of the 4 months is in the $9,000 range.
Okay,
We're almost the end of the third month now.
right,
Yeah.
that's in the $9,000 range. So what are we suggesting for good pay?
I had said 5,000, I mean,
Sure. Yeah,
that's roughly half of what,
we're gonna end up owing, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Agree to that.
You good?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
okay, Finance and Special Projects Administrator Report.
Thank you, that one too.
That's you.
Sorry. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
oh.
the back page.
That's why I put paper clips on them, but obviously didn't work. Okay. Yeah, so, council will recall that earlier this year you got funding for a new strategic plan. And, the funding came in. We are kind of waiting for your permanent CAO to deal with it and move it forward, but, all these contracts take a while, so Kim has prepared the RFP and has been released. When she was preparing the funding application, she spoke to 4 different service providers to get estimates, ballpark estimates about what we might expect to pay so that she could make the application. So she sent the RFP directly to those 4 so that they can make a bid. And then of course it's also advertised.
Yes.
And the recommendation is for council member,
Oh, yeah, we have so one of the things I did was review your RFPs because the document was kind of a mess. And the normal process for these that I'm familiar with is that a bid review committee looks at the RFPs that come in. And so we suggested in the RFP that the bid review committee would have myself, Kim, and a member of council. And I mean, if it was a different type of an RFP, it would probably have Tammy and Kim.
Right,
Right.
It's just,
Right.
this happens to be the strategic plan, so I would be probably the right manager to,
that's right. Yeah,
and if something happened and I wasn't here, then I'd probably say Marlene would be the person. So.
yeah.
Right.
I think
I
though,
can sit on it.
I think moving forward, I know that you and I think it's important to have somebody, either the mayor or somebody from council on a strategic planning committee, I mean, so that you can keep abreast of what's going on.
So that's a separate committee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is for the, like, to look at
Just
this?
to look
Yeah.
at the bids and make a recommendation to council.
Yes,
The committee cannot choose the successful proponent.
No.
They can review them and
they can
say,
review them. That's right.
And it's a request for proposals, it's not a tender, so
No,
they'll all be very different.
yes, they will
So
be.
you can say, you know, this person's gonna be done quicker, but this person's gonna do this much better community stakeholder group meetings. And,
That's
you know,
right.
Yeah.
So yes, the mayor's gonna sit on that?
Yeah, I can sit on
I think
Unless somebody else wants to jump in and say, hey, I'll do that.
it. Yeah,
Why were you thinking of doing that?
No.
so. The proposals are due on December 13th. So the meeting would happen after that. That's a Wednesday. And I think they're due by 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'll be going home late.
Oh my. I would suggest to you, most of them you'll have in early. These consultants don't fool around. They're pretty on the ball.
okay, Rec and Festivals Committee.
I wasn't at this meeting, but Benji was there.
You just wanted to, you were gonna.
I think everything's pretty
Oh,
solid.
yes, no, sorry, recreation, yeah. Sorry. We already talked about looking for funding sooner.
Yep.
And I see the changes that they're making and the 2024 Heritage Days.
Yeah, we got the proposed schedule last meeting or 2 meetings ago. You would have saw it.
Mm-hmm. So the only thing I saw from Benji was you guys were discussing either a road hockey game downtown or perhaps a charity hockey game, but the zones are on that weekend, so not likely charity hockey.
Yeah.
I guess Benji meant in that email,
Mm-hmm.
the zone, a lot of people would be gone,
Oh, would be gone to
Yeah.
zones, oh, sorry
Yeah.
then, okay.
is what I was thinking.
Okay. And you have more members now, that's what it is?
That's helpful.
Yes. It's hard getting everyone at one meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, you good with that then?
Yeah,
Okay.
we, at the Economic Development Committee, we do a survey, monthly survey on who's available, pick
Yeah.
dates
A
and
doodle.
a doodle and say who's available. That seems to work well for us.
Mhm.
Getting
So you're
people.
gonna do it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do that, yeah, she sends a doodle, when we all see, you can pick 3 different times.
Yeah, seems to be working.
Okay, we move on to the beautification committee minutes.
And what's Benji's email is about the idea of the Christmas tree lights, and we've already talked about that he can do these ones, but the Christmas tree at the cenotaph. So that they were talking about, he thinks we can get a tree, and he thinks we can get lights, but Tam, I got questions about electrical. How would you run electrical out there?
Well,
You wouldn't, would you?
that is the reason that we had the electrical work done at the front of this building,
Building.
because it is illegal to run extension cords along the ground in
Okay.
the wintertime.
All right,
That's the only way that they could run power to the cenotaph tree, is with an extension cord.
There is we were talking about
fair
this.
enough. Excuse me.
There is a plug-in on that pole.
Which pole?
Right at the cenotaph.
Memory? Can you grab me
Okay.
a water?
There's a bunch of electrical hookups there. But I was talking to the mayor about it, and that's where they used to get the power, right? And I looked the other day, and looks like there's a receptacle up there. It's all taped up.
Yeah, because somebody said, was that you there, Saga? Somebody said, since I got back from Fort Francis, that they had to run extension cord all
Yeah.
the way from the food bank.
For the
Or-
November
Why
11th.
didn't they use the plug at the pole? But the plug at the pole might be, Gary knows that, so.
Well, it's
So-
up 15 feet in the air too, so.
Well,
Not accessible.
maybe they changed it then, because that's where they always used to have it.
Was it down where it was accessible?
I didn't think it was 15 feet, but
You need a ladder to get to it. You could, the one I seen there anyway, but maybe you can take a look at it.
Okay,
And then maybe run it down somewhere.
yeah. I could have a look at it with Jake
Yeah.
and see what he can do for us.
Yeah, because that was, that November, the 11th service, yeah, that was,
Okay, and then the tree would be placed in close proximity to that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you use to plug in? I mean, if you can you use a shorter extension cord or
Extension cords are not permitted,
not
but,
at all?
yeah,
So
so, but a lot of the Christmas lights have a long enough tail on it that,
you could plug it in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can take a look at that.
Okay.
okay. They got in here about the mural of the soldiers there. I got to say that the job was well done and well recognized, and they did an excellent job on it.
Does somebody have to approve the use of the pop-up tents? Or does that just happen? Because it says it's December 10th. So is that like a recommendation that you need permission?
We've always provided it to them. I don't think that we have a rental fee associated with that.
New bylaw.
So, I mean, there should be
Well-
for replacement costs eventually, right?
I mean,
But,
yeah, I mean, we wouldn't rent it to the committee, but, and, tents like that, I don't think like there, I wouldn't rent out to anyone anyway. Keep them for the town. But you definitely wouldn't rent it out to the committee. In my opinion, anyway.
yeah,
Because the committee is a part of
Committee of the
council.
town.
so we just get the contract filled out with Evan so that we can track where our assets are being lent out to.
Because they put it up at the cemetery, right? And they have the service and stuff, and I think it comes down right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I don't think you need any more than that, eh? Community economic development. Minutes.
I can speak to that, I guess. Still trying to get new members. It'd be nice to have someone from the business community join us. So, I mean, that's open, and try to encourage that. The Oxaubin, we had a committee member join the Oxaubin Chamber of Commerce meetings. There was no representation from Schreiber businesses. And I'm not quite sure why. So it'll be another thing for the committee to do, reach out, have that discussion with businesses, find out what the, if there is a misconception or if there's, how we can improve that situation, so. Some of the future goals, signage for the Discovery Center, the east entrance to Schreiber and the west. And we have signs that we could put out there, but the FSPA is in contact with the MTO to get permit locations. One of our members was out there, he was GPSing proposed locations and giving the coordinates to the MTO.
Is there two of them big signs? Really?
Yeah.
I thought there was one.
No, there's two. We thought there was one too.
Okay.
One also.
So there were two locations picked out. So this will be sent off to MPO. That will probably speed things up. Superior Country cruise ship update. They did put out a brochure on what possible activities could be to cruise ships. And we discussed reaching out to Pace Flat First Nation to include their medicine trail in the brochure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, I haven't been on it, but I hear it's really well done, so. The business networking meeting, rather than fall events, now pushed to the spring. Just the timeline, and we didn't have enough time left in the year, so it'll be pushed off to the spring. And we have some ideas on what to include in that event. Signage at Schreiber Beach. The idea is to put QR codes that will link to the Discovery Center and our community map. There's a lot of people come in from the east and they end up down at Schreiber Beach first before they go anywhere else that will help. We also talked about ideas for the space over across from the splash pad, and some ideas on what we can do there. That will be brought forward to the next meeting.
I thought that was already, I thought that was already discussed, that it was going to be an open air pavilion.
At the committee level, or?
And when the price came in at $1.5 million for the closed building, we washed our hands of it and we went with the splash pad.
Yeah.
So that $1.5 million was pre-COVID. So you're I don't want to, I can guess, probably between $3 and $4 million now for the pavilion. Open, closed pavilion versus an open air pavilion, which is probably going to run you around $800,000.
I think.
And everybody, I've got emails saying don't give up on the open air pavilion, keep the momentum going and everything.
I think.
I think we're taking a step backwards.
Well, I know. Well, here's the thing, right? We were sitting at the meeting and discussing it, and Kim was talking about filling out grants and stuff, and we've had some change in the committee. Certainly, I'm new on there. I didn't understand the history of the pavilion. Kim doesn't. She wasn't involved in that project. And Ken Cook, who's on there, wasn't involved in that project. So the more we got talking about it, the more we thought we don't want to take a step back, but we just thought if we had a quick meeting, that's all we discussed, that we could look back and just see the evolution of it. And where were there things in the original, small things, big things, what have you, that could be included or not, or was it not worth looking at? I think it was just not to take a step back, but just to gain some context for what moving forward was going to look like. Because I would agree with you, we've developed some momentum, and we've got really good, the splash pad and that whole area has been very well developed, and I think to move forward, we just wanted to make sure we're going in the right direction. And there's also been talk about, is there something more we should be doing at the Discovery Center? But that kind of led Dan and I into the conversation about, well, we've got to be strategic about where we're spending our money, and with the strategic plan coming up, those are probably longer term. We're not saying we don't want to build a pavilion. It's just a matter of just to gain some historical context, I think, and some thoughts about moving forward. That was it. Because there's a lot of us on the committee that I don't know what that originally was.
Yeah.
The last project I did for Schreiber was the storage tank.
Yeah, I think it was just
I don't mean to be smart here, but if some funding came along for the sewer plant, are you going to say, no, we don't want it, we got a strategic plan we got to get?
I think those kinds of things will float to the top in the strategic plan. I think
Well,
they're gonna come
and
first.
that's what I think the momentum is going with that open air pavilion. Why are we gonna lose our momentum? Like, the job's half done. The job is only half done. That area is supposed to be a family area. It's
Right.
supposed to be for barbecues, concerts, flea markets. It's supposed to help develop it's supposed to be a family area. Like, if I know there's a closed pavilion going there, which will turn into whatever, whoever. I don't know
that's not what
it'll
we're
turn
saying.
into. Be another building that we gotta heat. We can't even afford what we got.
Oh, no, that's not even what we're saying. We're just thinking that if Tim had mentioned that we've missed the envelope for NOHFC funding.
Correct.
So, I guess our thought was, if you really feel like waiting 30 days to enable us to have a meeting is going to put you that much further behind, then go ahead. That's what we're asking, just for one meeting to step back and have a look at. If we've missed the envelope for funding already, I don't know what more 30 days is gonna hurt.
Was it 30 days ain't gonna hurt anything. It's just that when I read that, where the heck are they coming from? I know what the routine is. I know who said it. Whatever. I'm lost.
No,
It's like,
I think that
it's like this place, when they built this place, like, it was crazy. Why didn't they change the furnace? Like,
I think that's a really good example, because if we build this open air pavilion and someone says, why didn't you include this, wiring for speakers? I don't want to be going, shit, because we never thought of it. We never took a step back and looked at it. I don't know. I don't know, Dan, what do you think? You know more on this
I think
part.
it was, the whole idea was to have a discussion on what's gonna go in that space.
And how we got to.
Yeah, and what we thought about in the past, and what, I mean, you know, what worked this summer. We had that open air tent down there, and that worked. I mean,
Perfect.
That was a good space.
and
for the community,
that was,
so-
we're showing off that, not showing off the tent, but we're
Yeah.
just giving them an example of what this open air
Sure.
pavilion
Yeah.
Absolutely.
is gonna do, enhance the area, and then I just read that
Yeah.
we're going back to the closed pavilion that was $1.5 million in 2020 or 2021. That $1.5 million is $3 to $4 million now,
Yeah.
post-COVID.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a discussion on what the options are.
Like,
And that's all it is. It's at committee level, it's just a discussion.
yeah, no, I mean, that's my concerns anyway.
Yeah.
I agree. We don't want to lose momentum. We don't.
And you're right about the NOHFC funding, but I think they're the two, I mean, the water pollution control plant's your biggest thing. But anyway,
And as the mayor and council knows, it's not like we don't have it's not just wastewater, right? We've got issues across the board in almost every department. And so my thinking about the strategic plan was to bring these forward and see what floats, so that mayor and council can make a decision on where should we be spending our money? Where should we be looking for funding, right? And I think it's going to give you a clearer map. And I think it's probably going to give you that clear map to say, we might like this, but we're going to have to settle for this because this is what we can afford. Because strategic planning doesn't just give you the ability to say yes, it gives you a stronger ability to say no.
well, even if we're in good shape, you're not going to go with a closed pavilion
No.
when you can't afford with what you got now. But anyway, no, I agree, Javier.
No,
That's all we just wanted to do.
no,
Just and honestly, I did not work for the ministry when this project was developed. The last thing I did was work on your older strategic plan and that tank up at the hill. So I didn't really understand where they got this from, but yeah. Sorry, John, you kind of interrupted you.
Just, the budget committee is requesting $2,000 budget from council to put on special events throughout the year.
Yeah, and that's something I think Kimball can move forward with when we're just budget time. But she was basically asking us, what do you think we need?
And then, it's proposed to, have postcards up at the Discovery Center for tours. And that's about all I'll say on that.
Okay. Building permits and demolition permits report.
So we're one more in October?
Okay, hearing no discussion. Fire chief report, Scotia Street hydrants.
It's the same report that was touched on at the last meeting as well, where we discussed moving one of the, or two of the rocks back a foot or two, just to the other side of the hydrant. Since then, we've also, just in discussions, decided that spinning the one hydrant that's at the corner of Winnipeg and Scotia, spinning it 180 degrees to actually have the steam report face north on Winnipeg Street in the spring would also be a good idea there. To make it more of a, get rid of any curves and loops, and just have a straight shot down Winnipeg Street in the future. That would be in the spring though, that one.
And moving the rocks where we're saying to move them is still going to impede anybody driving through there, right?
Well, you can't get through there
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
And that would only be necessary probably for this winter,
Yeah,
once the hydrant is spun.
Okay.
and the hydrant beside the garage, the old hall.
Yeah, we had discussed that one as well there. I think in the report I said we should probably look at rehooking it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it may not be very economically feasible to rehook that one right now. But I've got to get out the insurance maps and see how it actually charts for radius for what it's actually protected. See,
So why was it disconnected?
that I don't know. That was disconnected, I think, long before I actually moved to town. So
Okay.
it's been disconnected well over 20 years. I don't know
Okay.
if the mayor has any input on that one.
Yeah, no, that was an add-on hydrant, through the system because of the fire hall being right there. It was charged. If you had to use it, you could. It was for training, I believe, for, the firemen. It was something that, I happened to be on the fire department at that time. It was something that Pete was big on having the hydrant there. And, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that the main cracked and broke leading to it, so that was pretty much the end of
The
it.
end of that one.
Yeah, it's just another example. The fire hydrant in the ball field by the concession booth is not
On the map.
a hydrant on it's a hydrant. It's not a hydrant on the system. It's on our system. If you had to use it, you used it, but we put it there for use at the ball field. And then they put sprinkler systems in,
Okay.
okay? Because there's one right on the corner by, where you live.
Oh, yeah.
So that hydrant was just put there for the purposes of the town. You could use it for fire if you had
Yeah.
to. I'm not saying you couldn't, but,
But you're thinking the
It's just-
one at the old fire hall is not, you couldn't use now?
oh no, you can't use it.
Okay. does that mean? Okay. Ooh,
So I had, to repair it and all that, I think would cost, if I remember correct, too, it was 10-inch main.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would point out is that when a hydrant, even a private hydrant, like the one in the CP rail yard or the one that we took possession of in the old abandoned trailer park, are hooked to a drinking water system, that there's actually you have to maintain it under the code. So I would recommend, like, we should either remove it or repair it. So, and I think by the sounds of it, if that main is only feeding that one building and we have no requirement for water in there, then I would take it out.
okay. It's probably the most cost-effective thing to do.
Yes. Assuming there's no need for the main. And if it's shut off, then I'm guessing there isn't.
Well, so everything's off, obviously.
Corey says it's not even connected to the main. It's
Pardon me?
ground. Corey said there is no connection from the main. That pipe was eliminated.
He's got a better memory than me.
So then, just to do away with it,
Just remove it.
remove it. Well, not throw it away, but yeah, okay.
Fire permit report, 18, John?
So you're extending it?
This is because we're hoping to modernize our fire permit system and move to an online model for next year. We're also looking to get rid of the winter-summer system that we currently have and just go to one single. We're also in dire need of changing the whole burning bylaw. The current one is from the early 70s. And it is probably unenforceable. It permits the burning of hazardous wastes as long as you let us know you're doing it. It permits the burning of garbage. It also permits the burning of etc., whatever that means. So it's time to write a new one and put a new one in place for the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that online system, and during COVID there, it's slick.
And the online system would be much slicker than the system we used during COVID. During COVID,
It was the emails.
I had the email server at the fire station. You know, you'd email it in and it would automatically reply to you with a fire
Yeah.
permit. It was a simple, mirror trick. This would be a portal. You go in, enter your information one time. It would give you the rules. You would pay the fee using your Interact card or a credit card, and it would automatically forward through the Monera system right into the town's account. And the whole thing would also email you, or it could email you, phone you, or give you an actual text message. When the MNR puts a fire ban in place, there'd be no more need to do any of that.
Ooh,
So,
Yeah, that's
Fancy.
That's nice.
that's nice.
We had the system in Condy, and we had several seniors who didn't have computers, and they would just phone the office and we would do it for them.
Yeah.
So it still works.
Yeah.
yeah, so we'd have the ability through either the front counter or at the fire station, say on the weekend, to manually enter somebody into the system.
Nice.
That is nice. Very smart.
Okay. Library board minutes. Guess you usually take that, don't you?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Of course.
Of course we do.
Your library sign, an email will be sent to Tammy to ask when that sign can be installed. So you have a new sign?
I guess so. It's news to me. We do? We have a new sign?
Not that I know of.
What?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. I see
Okay.
it. Oh,
Just says library sign. I just thought, I was excited. I didn't know.
I
Neither did we.
feel
So that
it.
was my question, because this was from September 21st. It just, my question was, did you get this done?
Oh, I feel as though that's not a thing.
That's not a thing? Okay. That's all right.
I'll email Linda though.
Then I have no questions.
You look into that.
I'll look into that. I was at that meeting. I don't recall that conversation.
Do you need a new sign?
No.
Maybe because there is a new sign. You just haven't realized. I don't know.
No.
Sorry, hon. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make
It's all good.
It's all good, dude.
Who prepares the minutes?
Linda.
Can I make a suggestion that she not attach all this stuff about expired events?
Yeah.
I just don't print it.
Well, it goes into our system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, I get that the calendar's there, that's cool.
But calendar school, yeah.
This was October 21st. This was October 1st. I mean,
I'll let her
and
know.
the color. They're pretty, but
Mhm.
they're pretty. I can just stitch them here too. I mean, she can just refer to it in the minutes. We have the events, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, the reaccreditation was, sorry, I'll just touch on that. It was
Yes.
done and they got like 90% on it or something.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna have a little get together when they get the certificate and something.
For sure.
Yeah. Linda was nervous, but it went well.
Glad
This was
to-
her first one.
Good. Okay, move into communications.
No, you have your additions.
No, your addition.
Oh, yeah, the additions, sorry. Number 20. Tammy,
Tammy.
you're back up. And propane heater.
So I've had a little bit of an update on this matter today. I received a phone call that may require a change order to the Automation Now service agreement. Our last inspection from ESA has said that everything in the building has to be changed to explosion proof. So when I said that the technician said that this heater is pooched and we have to replace it, he said, well, that's the second I have news for you. It has to be explosion proof. So this price, I need to update you on that. But if you're having a special meeting next week, I could probably provide you a price at that point. I'm not sure that there is any possibilities of a propane explosion-proof appliance.
I wouldn't imagine there is, yeah.
We
That
may
makes
have
sense.
to change to electrical, in which case he says is very expensive because it's all sealed and doesn't allow any sparks and stuff like that. So he is actually exploring the possibility of moving the appliance outdoors and venting the heat into the building. So we're looking at options that can be our best financial option at this point. So more on the Automation Now change order later.
And I think
That's-
it looks like, in reading this, there's a lot of concerns about the heat in that building.
Oh, yeah.
Just overall.
Yeah.
So that maybe this heater wouldn't have solved all of them, because it sounds like there's stuff crumbling off other pieces and there's other things going on. Next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, number 21. Fire chief report, transfer of paste plat pumper.
This is a report that I actually was gonna bring up at November 28th, but suddenly there's a need to move it forward to tonight. So 2 years ago, you may recall that we worked on a grant and got Pace Plat a new fire truck. What we told the council at that time was keep your old truck for 2 years while the warranty period is in effect on the new one, just in case there's any issues or it has to go back. And then look at disposing of the truck once that's up. And since that time, we've been storing it up here in Schreiber. So that warranty period's now expired. And when I gave them a report at their October 6th band council meeting, saying, hey, the warranty's up, time to make a decision, their offer came back that they would like to donate it to Schreiber. So I said I'd bring that forward at the time. So right now, the truck's in very good shape. 2019, we actually had it repainted, body work done on it through the band. It is an older truck, but it is fairly usable. We do have another older truck in the fleet that is probably in a lot worse shape than this one. So my recommendation is to accept the offer with the truck.
What do you do with the other one? Just sell it?
Well, eventually we'd have to come to some sort of decision down the road about the other one. But right now, this would be backfilling for the one that was just damaged in the accident.
Okay, so before that happened, my question was,
Yeah.
if it's usable, is it sellable?
39-year-old truck.
Well, you just told me you just painted it. It's beautiful. It's in
Yeah,
good shape.
it's sellable. It would probably only fetch $5,000.
Do they still donate them to third world countries and stuff like that? The older truck?
Will they pay me?
On how donations work.
I know, terrible. I know. But now it's neither here nor there because we're probably going to have to use the
We're
truck.
probably going to have to use this for some right now.
Okay. So your recommendation is that the donation be accepted?
Yes, and when you take a look at the bottom of the report there, there's a cost associated, of course, with putting the safety on it and the annual safety on it, and then putting the insurance on it. The insurance, I'm not convinced would have to continue once we're done with it, that it could be reduced once it's out of use.
What does this do to your maintenance budget?
Oh, this is all accounted for expense. It's unplanned, so this hurts simply because of the accident that occurred on the 10th. If I were to compare apples to apples on the two old trucks we have in the fleet, I would actually say keep the Pace Flatline and get rid of the Schreiber owned 8990 Ford, simply because the Pace Flat truck's a bigger truck, it has bigger compartments, better engine, better pump, and it actually uses our standard 6-inch hose connections and intakes, whereas our other old truck only uses 5-inch, and it's the only truck that isn't standard. So I would say down the road, I would get rid of the other truck, this one.
Yeah.
Not the one that was in the accident. Don't get rid of that one.
No,
There's another
that's a
older
fairly
one.
new truck. This is a different old truck. Yeah, I would knock that out the bottom of the list. So.
This is gonna sound stupid. Would it be smarter to let Pace Flat keep that truck and rent it out to us for the next couple months until ours got fixed?
Still have to be safety, wouldn't it?
Hmm?
It would still have to be safety.
Yeah, it would still have to be safety because it's annual is due.
Kind of remember.
So the cost between the insurance and the safety would still be the same.
Well, we wouldn't have to insure it if we didn't own it.
Right.
But they probably took their insurance off. of it.
They've canceled
So
their
they would
policy
save-
as of
yeah.
Halloween.
Doesn't save us.
No. I don't think we have a choice, really.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be maintenance cost of $1,500 plus an insurance cost of $26.82. So the insurance cost is,
The annual fee we pay on each fire truck.
okay. But with this okay. So, but for the 2023 budget, all you're really asking for is November, December, 2 out of 12.
That's right.
Prorated that amount. So it's not 20,
it's.
it's not 26, right? It's
It would only be the 2/12 of that.
212.
Yeah.
So logistically, $1,500 for safety plus 212 plus 212 for the 23 budget.
Yes.
And then you can come back with the new numbers for the 24 budget.
That's right.
Okay. I feel a little better.
And then once you get rid of the other old truck, it'll come off the insurance.
It'll come off the insurance
So it's just until
and go on
this one
gov
gets
deals
fixed.
for like
You know what?
$50,000.
No, should be able to get a heater though.
Okay. I don't know what y'all you guys think about that, but yeah, that just seems more palatable.
Our trucks sell well on gov deals. I don't know about this gold one.
Yeah.
It's standard.
Okay.
No, I think we gotta go with the recommendation, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that too, though.
Okay.
Do the next one.
Okay. Resolution 364-23. Oh, I didn't do that, right? 365.
Days in a year.
Resolution 365-23, moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the meeting be extended for a maximum of 1 hour to 11 p.m. All those in favor? Carried.
Minutes of this meeting.
Okay, it was the damage to the 2006 pumper fire chief report.
Yeah, and, the, truck was damaged going out to a, chicken coop fire. It happened on, November 10th. It was, one of 3 trucks that went up the, on the Nickel Island that day. Fortunately, it, was the only one that, managed to, enter the ditch and hit the rock. The damage right now, I've lowered the estimates a little bit, talking to some of the suppliers today. I think we're hopefully in the 17,000 range right now on the damage estimate. The fortunate part was where it hit wasn't the, the cab or the Freightliner portion of the truck. It was the
So no, it didn't bend the frame or anything
no,
silly
it
like
didn't do
that.
anything like that, but it's all the custom-made fire body. So, which is custom-made by each truck. So, for instance, the 2 roll-up doors are custom-made to the truck. So I've had to contact the original manufacturer to see if they can get us a parts list and create the parts for us. Same with the rear fender that got bent. I'm gonna have to contact the company that made the fender and see if they can recreate it for us. So there's gonna be some lead time on getting the proper parts in to do the repair.
See, you guys have talked to the insurance company?
Yes, we've been dealing with them, and we've got a claim open, so we're waiting to hear on an ETA for an adjusted.
Is that a challenge going back to that location? Then is there an issue with the road access there?
Well, we got the truck that is in Rossport up the hill first.
Yeah.
That was no problem. I was driving that one. I didn't see any issue.
Did Terrace Bay have issues with their truck?
They got their brand new one up there, and they had no problems getting up there as well. So it really is probably goes down to driver error.
Okay. And that'll happen. That happens everywhere.
What was the cause of that fire?
Heating lamp.
It was electrical. There were heating lamps. And, when I went through the wiring, it was, 30 amp fuses running heating lamps on 15 amp circuits. So,
Well, here's a short and long, we can't not fix this truck, right? Am I right in saying that? We have to fix this truck.
That's the number one truck. that we
that's
have.
our number one
Yeah.
truck with the biggest tank and
Yeah,
issues.
Yeah. Later.
The replacement cost of it there I gave was 1 million. That's
Yeah.
probably low. A town in Manitoba just last week had to pay 1.2 million for one of these trucks.
Yeah. So we're fixing it under insurance. But you're waiting for an adjuster to come now?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with the recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Jen. Thanks for the reports. Now we'll move on to communications.
Province of Ontario 2024 OMPF. Marlene, do we know what our 2024 allocation is yet?
Yep, it is 8074. So it's down 4,000 from 2022. 23, sorry.
I think 8,074?
It's $4,000 less than it was in 2023.
Okay.
Well, we'll, and, okay.
That's all, I just didn't know. Okay. And this Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing municipal election, for the love of God. Do we have questions about this new permanent register of voters that they're talking about bringing in and how we're gonna manage that?
This is a good thing
Yeah.
because we always have problems with voters lists. They don't match between the province and the feds and the municipal.
Right.
They've never matched. You get people coming to your election and they're not on the list, and I was on the list last year. It's just a mess. So it's much better to move to a singly maintained.
Is it gonna be a lot of work for admin though?
No,
Okay.
no. This is and it. I don't know how MPAC used to make so many mistakes,
I know.
and so I'm glad they're not doing it anymore.
Right? No, exactly, yeah.
This was just for information.
No, I just thought it was interesting that they were changing that, it's a whole system. And you're right, coming away from Manpack. And then what do you guys think about signing that petition in support of Bill C 310? That's obviously a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's good.
We should support that, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, we're just excited. Next one.
Sorry, next one.
No, we only have an hour, so.
So we're gonna support that though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Did you see that one, Jen?
No, I actually haven't seen that one.
You'd be interested.
And this Superior Country invitation, anybody going to? It's virtual.
When do you have to know by? We see date November
28th.
28.
It doesn't have a deadline, really.
No, I think it's such that let them know. I would, honest to God, I would offer to go, but I already know I have an appointment that day already at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
So check my schedule when I look at that. I can't make it. It's probably a good one to go to.
I'll try to go to that one.
I might try and go to it too.
Yeah, why not? Exactly.
And another one to support, number 5.
I agree. And then Tammy's gone, and I don't blame her. But this town of Rainy River, this, if we could actually get this, this would help all of us, wouldn't it? This is this training expense we've been talking about, is it not?
Yeah, this is, the Rainy River runs its own plant, they don't use Aqua.
Oh,
So I think the training would be different, but I don't know.
Because we were looking for class 2 operators, were we not?
I don't know.
No, I don't think this.
No?
Two.
So they have to send their guys down south whenever they need training.
Oh, okay.
So they.
I was looking at this thing and with this process with the training because we had to cut that back. Is there another way to kind of sneak this in to get?
This would reduce the cost.
I don't know. Don't know.
And that's water treatment. Our guys need water. Not the treatment part, but
Distribution.
Yeah. Oh, right. Water treatment facilities, water distribution facilities, wastewater collection. Right.
Don't
Where
know if
the-
we can help Aqua with their training. I don't need to help them with their training.
No.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Then, number 7, and see Dave floating around on a tube out there in the lake. Maybe
We
we
can't
should.
stay 21 days. No more. That's it. We gotta come home.
This was a big problem when I was in Fourth Lakes.
Oh, betcha it would be too.
It's navigable waterway is federal. So none of our bylaws applied to the houseboat parties in front of the residents'
That's
houses.
handy.
Okay, let's move on to unfinished business.
Okay.
Township Schreiber Christmas Social.
I don't know if there's some reason that I don't mind being a DD. I would honest to God not feel comfortable driving McCausland hospitals. Handy transit service quite truthfully. I could take 3 people on their Jeep at a time. I'd be just much happier driving my own vehicle. But if there's some reason that there's some insurance rule or something that no, you can't take your own vehicle, well then I don't know.
I don't see any issue with that.
Be an issue with that. Just a
I'm
less
just
person
not driving that big old van around town.
I've used my personal vehicle during heritage days, being VD.
Right, so I'm willing to volunteer. I just don't want to have to use the Hench Transit. If you guys are okay with me using my own vehicle.
Going to the supper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No one, surely God, no one's gonna need to drive home while I'm eating.
Well, you never know.
Oh my goodness.
You can ride with them.
Yeah.
You don't have a taxi service, do you?
No.
Okay, item 5.5, there are 2 Christmas trees and decorations in storage. Does council wish to have one or both or none of the trees set up and decorated?
Well, at least one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have one, I don't know how big they are, so. We used to have one in the hall as you came in that you put I think that you put the food items around. And then one in the hall itself.
Ah. Well, there you go. We can set up.
I just set up both if you got enough decorations. If you don't got enough decorations, just set up one.
Yeah.
Well, with the council, putting the decorations on.
Yeah.
Okay, one.
So they did in the hallway or in the hall?
Wherever we decide it looks better, I don't know.
We could do.
So November the 30th is the day? Oh yeah, shoot, that's the night before. Never mind, that's a stupid question.
So Evan will have the decorations that morning. He will pick them up that morning and tablecloths and everything that morning. He's scheduled to pick them up.
That's a Thursday.
And what time again?
I'm on the ice at 5:30 to 6:15.
And then you're working the day before, or you're working during the day.
Yeah. Because that's can't speak from them.
Ben should be working through the day. Do you want to say 6:15 at night? I mean, it's not, I don't care. It's up to you guys. I can go during the day, I can go in the evening, it doesn't matter to me.
This is your hall, right? So yeah, somebody has to give you access if you don't have a key. If you're after hours.
Or should
Yeah.
be somebody working. There's
If
Thursday.
there's
night or
Cat Skate, yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah,
sit
should be
there,
somebody.
let us in.
I'm flexible.
There's no
Yeah,
number
me
on the
too.
wall to call, so.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll be, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm getting punchy.
Getting tired. 6:30?
Sometimes I
Give you
get
time to-
silly.
You're just getting off the ice, right? At 6:15?
We start
Yeah,
earlier.
you guys start, I'll just call.
You just
Well, we'll put up the tree and we'll leave everything else for you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
leave the box of decorations there.
Okay, what do you want to say? Decorate how? Give me a time. Mutter?
I think you guys said 6:15, didn't you?
Yeah, he's just saying maybe go a little early. He's an early nighter. I don't, goes to bed early.
You
Who?
go 6.
Yes.
Who, me? Well, I don't know, it's
Make it
whatever.
even 6 p.m.
Yeah, and I'll just come when they're done.
6? Who said 6?
Cecile said 6 and everyone nodded.
Well, yeah, why do 6:15? I mean, why complicate it?
Yeah, and if we wanna go earlier, we'll talk about it and go earlier.
Yeah,
Okay. Rachel?
feel free to get it all done before 6:15. I'll
Probably
let
not
me
gonna
hold you
happen.
back.
Probably not gonna happen.
When is the Christmas video? What day is that?
Oh, we haven't heard about that yet.
Yeah, we got an email today.
Did we?
Yeah, no one replied.
I didn't respond
She
to the
proposed
email.
the day.
Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
respond
that's
to the
actually
email, I
really-
talked to her.
Okay.
She said, before next council meeting on the 28th, so,
Okay.
So we don't know yet. Okay.
or, so we wanna come in early that.
Either that or just do it another time, whenever it's convenient.
And we're gonna have, yeah, we don't have to get it out there until the 10th of December or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got lost.
I want to do 3 or 4 redos.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get it the first time.
yeah.
Then what kind of
Look at the
a,
lawn.
Yeah, I know. She's 100% right.
Just
We're
saying.
lucky to get it right that night.
Just saying.
are we
It's gonna probably take a
wearing
few days.
ugly Christmas sweaters?
Yeah, whatever you got.
Or
I
You
guess.
can create.
Are they
you don't have-
appropriate?
what's,
As long as they're appropriate.
well, I don't know.
You can take a plain sweater and put decorations on it.
Okay.
We did that for.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I picked one up at Port Francis.
Or go to
Did you
the thrift
really?
shop.
Yeah, I did that one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Okay.
Put tinsel on yourself or whatever.
I've done that before.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, other, did we wanna look at the plan or no, right?
What?
No, the things that you needed to decide on were specified there, so.
They're already specified, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're still on track?
still on track.
Perfect.
A lot of the rest of the stuff can't be done until like the week before, like,
Do you have someone you usually get to say rates?
we usually just pick somebody there.
Except I do it all the time.
You're hired.
I have a nice one that's, generic and talks about the creator so that if there's anybody named there, they're okay. And
Yep, we'll put you down for grace then.
Perfect.
Okay, number 1 under other business, temporary boring bylaw.
So this is just an annual bylaw that is passed, required, it's, based on your budget figures for 2023 and, what your maximum allowed, borrowing will be in 2024. Should you be in that position, which you are not.
It's a standard bylaw, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that we do every year.
yeah.
It allows staff to spend for the.
For the new budget and the new taxes, but yeah.
So that's coming forward on the 28th.
Perfect.
Number 2, grant and aid application for the food bank, North Shore Harvest Covered.
Did we not have this discussion at our last meeting?
They sent in a letter and they were asked to do the grant and aid form.
Oh, okay, so it is the same request.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no amount on there, you know that, right?
They're asking me to.
Yeah,
There's an amount on there.
Is there? I was reading through all her writing, trying to see where there was an actual amount.
What amount of funding are you requesting? $5 or more if you're able.
500,
Or more if you were able.
middle of page 3 of 4.
Shoot.
Here.
Because I was reading through that. That was when I didn't print off, because I'm like, I can't see what she said on the amount.
What did we do last year?
Yeah.
how much money's in that line?
$1,799 and change.
I thought we only had $950.
The 1,700.
We spent $1,200.96 in 2023. In your grant and aid.
I'm speaking at the wrong thing. I had to. In fact, I pulled up the variance report and I looked at it and said, okay, we spent $1,050 to $2,000. We've only got $950 left. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
You had $3,000 budgeted.
Oh, there you go. So $500?
What do we got left?
1,700.
$500.
Nope, I'm
Really?
just looking at this.
Oh, I thought you were handing it.
No, sorry.
750.
Oh, I was gonna say 1,000.
We don't know what we gave last year, right?
I bet you it was 1,000.
In 22,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas hamper campaign was $500 that you gave.
That's probably why they asked for the same amount.
Yeah.
They didn't want to insult you by saying, give us more.
They ask for every year.
And I'll get some money from the
7.
train, right?
What are you saying?
I said 1,000,
1,000?
just because we got,
You're saying 750? What are you saying, Dan?
Aren't you Santa Claus?
I'm with Dave.
I'm
I said, aren't you Santa Claus?
no, I'm surprised to hear 1,000 out of Dave, so I'll second it.
there's $1,700.
Yeah, no, I already agreed. That's good.
That's nice.
I mean, the trying times right now.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Beautiful. I think that's beautiful. It's very generous of the town.
Okay, number 3, grant and aid application.
This is already finished.
Yeah.
Sue's.
That was for a free room rental, I
Yeah.
think, eh?
Yeah.
Was that, am I right, Rosalie?
Yes.
Did we do that already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 10.
No, it would determine whether they were going to be invoiced or not, based on your decision tonight.
Oh,
Oh,
it's like, don't invoice them.
That was for the
Sue
party.
McConnell's party. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the time being 10:19 p.m. and there being no further business at hand, as chair, I declare this meeting to be adjourned.
Thanks, sir.
Oh,
yes.